too few that I see. The kind of legacy that's tossing some good men to their knees. Great society's melancholy. Since then I'm thinking now at least it kept our brain. to their knees. Great societies melancholy. Since then I'm thinking now at least it kept our brain. With all those corners cut, the cracks grew wide and near. I heard some cats say, but where it's gone and clear. Who goes there next? I don't know. I don't know nothing anymore. Tomorrow's legacy that's laying instead where to breathe. I always heard that when a man goes down, you do your best to pick him up. How can no good kindness trickle down now? When it's time to feed off and teach the cup.
Alright, guys. Welcome to C Plus Gaming Live. My name is Frank, and today we're going to be playing the remastered version of Full Throttle. And we're going to be playing this game again. Yesterday I did the playthrough on it, but I had some audio issues. I noticed today when I was checking the video that I had some kind of reverb or an echo on the audio. So hopefully now that is not happening. I changed the audio setting a little bit here for the stream. So before we start into we go through into the game. Let me remind you that we are restreaming this on Restream.io simultaneously, also on both YouTube and Twitch. Also remember that you can also like us on Facebook at C Plus Gaming Live. Also remember that you see here the chat. You can chat with us either in English or in Spanish. You can chat through Twitch or YouTube, and you would find the and you would see the chat here on the video. So we can chat in both English and Spanish on both YouTube or Twitch. Also remember that every Wednesday we have the Witcher Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. And also the Final Fantasy Fridays every Friday at also 9 p.m. and this is Eastern time. Um, I know I've not been doing this. We've not been streaming the Witcher series and the Final Fantasy series for like I don't know, for I think it's like a month and a half now or something like that, almost 2 months, because we've been very busy. But starting next week, we're gonna be continuing. We're in the middle of The Witcher 1, and we're at the end of Final Fantasy 1. So the idea is that we're gonna play all the Witcher games, and the idea is we're gonna play all the Final Fantasy games. So pretty interesting stuff. So also, what else can I tell you? It's I don't know if it's gonna be live this Wednesday and Friday, but it's definitely we're gonna have a video. Even if it's not live, we're gonna have a pre-recorded video definitely for you guys. So saying that, let's get right into this game. And this game for me is very nostalgic. This is one of the first game I played when I first got my own computer at the house. It was back in 1995. I guess I was 14, 15 years old, something like that. And so we had like a really cool computer with all the things, very expensive at the time. And we had internet and dial-up thing. But so this was along with a demo for what's the name? Dark Forces, which was like a Star Wars shooter. Along with that game, I had this game, and because this came with the sound system that the computer had, a very popular one back then. It was called Created Labs, the Sound Blaster. So some of you might remember that. So I got it with a Sound Blaster, so it came with this game and a couple other games, but this one was the one that really, it has a really special place in my heart because of that. Because it was, one of the first games I played on a computer actually. Before that, I always had consoles like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the PlayStation, but I've never actually played on the actual computer. So this was for me, I would say, the introduction to PC gaming. So, very powerful stuff for me. So, so I bought this game a couple of days ago. I already, played through it and remember all the things, and I even got all the achievements. It's pretty easy. I did it all in 4 hours, something like that. So, so this is probably gonna be a short video. I'm gonna play the whole game through. Not gonna do, I'm not gonna do the wrong things. Only in some cases because it's funny, like when you do it wrong. But I'm basically gonna go over the game, and it should take about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. So buckle up for this nostalgic train. So let me start a new game. This remaster version is pretty cool. It looks good. The music and the audio, everything. It has some kind of some audio issues and cutscenes issues, something like that. I don't know if it's my computer or the game, but it does have a commentary where the guys talk about things that happen in the game. I'm not going to put it on because it's too distracting, but if you have the game, I recommend it. It has some concept art that we're going to look at the end of the stream, and also has a jukebox where you can play all the songs and all the things, even audio tracks and commentary from the video. So we have, so let's start a new game. Yeah, I am sure.
Whenever I smell asphalt, I think of Marine. That's the last sensation I had before I blacked out. The thick smell of asphalt. And the first thing I saw when I woke up was her face. She said she'd fix my bike. For me, no strings attached.
Asphalt and Trouble.
Rip Burger, you're dumber than dirt. Oh, Mr. Corley, if you'd only listen to my plan, my vision. I know your plan, Rip Burger. You're waiting for me to die so you can take over my company.
This is probably the game that I've played the most ever. Not necessarily like in playtime, but I mean like repeated play. I don't know how many times I've seen this thing, this intro. Um, you know, you have to remember, like I told you, I used to play console games, so for me this was amazing. Even with the the pixelated graphic that it had back then, it was amazing. It looked for me it looked like the future.
You know I'd be on one right now, sir, if it weren't for my destabilizing inner ear condition. Ah, your ears are fine. It's what's between them that scares me.
It's a powerful opening scene. Cool. It sets the tone for the game and the universe of this game. And probably the best soundtrack ever in a video game. The Gone Jackals Drop the Hammer album, awesome. It takes me back to 1995 when I got this computer and I used to, put this at full volume and just listen to these songs. I don't know about you guys, but this really takes me back. Takes me back to 1995, or I think it was 95 or 96. Can't remember well, but definitely 95 or 96. It was a simpler world back then. Simple world. I remember, besides playing, like, the first games that I played on the computer obviously was this one, Full Throttle. Like I said, Dark Forces. I think I played The Dig also, which I also played a couple of months ago again, like the PC version. But I haven't streamed it, so maybe one day I will. The Dig. There was a lot of, Day of the Tentacle. There was a lot of these adventure games that they used to call that LucasArts and Team Schafer produced. I love them all. So I also, played a lot of shooters back then. Heretic, Quake, Duke Nukem, all these things. And I also play a lot of kids game because it came also with a computer, like Freddy Fish and the Curse of the Missing Kelp Seeds and things like that. And for me, like I said, it was a jump from playing consoles and just playing these games on the computer. It was, for me, was like the future. So I know this. These dialogues by heart. I mean, I can recite the whole game. I'm not going to, because the voice acting here is awesome. By the late Roy Conrad and Mark Hamill, and lots of people here that really, and obviously the writing by Team Schafer, and it's hilarious.
An appealing notion, but improbable. More likely he's boring you to death with some tale of the glory days.
But Malcolm, isn't that illegal?
Not back then it wasn't.
So who do you ride with these days?
He rides with me.
Although I'm sure he'd
So Ripburger is the voiced by Mark Hamill,
I told you to wait out
great
in the
voice
lane,
actor.
Burger. I thought you might like some help with your
You know,
sales.
that's besides being
Yes,
fucking looking,
we'll come here to
fucking look, fucking Skywalker.
Mr. Corley requires an escort to the annual Corley Motors shareholders meeting.
Does this look like an escort service to you?
You would be well compensated for your time, of course.
Not interested.
It's fairly obvious that you could use the money.
Listen, I said we're not for rent.
The polecats are not goons for hire.
Not
If you want to hire muscle,
Corley's dying wish. Rip Burger! That does it. I'm gonna...
Hold on there, Malcolm. If you don't mind, I'd like to step outside with Mr. Ripburger for a little chat.
Excellent idea.
asphalt and trouble.
And the doctor says he only has a few months to live.
So this is always funny. I don't know if it was intentional. I guess it was. But you know, usually when someone says, you know, I'm gonna step out, let's step outside and have a little chat, is usually the idea is, you know, we're gonna fight. And for me, it was always funny, like the idea that they were actually having a little chat outside. So that cut for me there was always hilarious.
We should go find the Rottweilers.
The old man says it's the polecats or nothing.
Then I guess
It'll have to be nothing.
And that's your last word.
that's it.
Well, I'd like to make you just one final offer. Bolus, take this coat and go get his motorcycle. We'll have to tie up this little 200-pound loose end. It'll need to look like an accident. That stuffed shirt actually thinks I'll leave him in control of Corley Motors when I go.
Boy, is he in for a surprise.
Hey, where's Ben going?
Your colleague has decided to accept our generous offer after all. As a matter of fact, he's gone on ahead to
Scout out the route.
Well then, let's roll 'em, boys.
Corville, here we come. So this is actually where the game actually starts, right? And yeah, so to give you a rundown of the controller, I'm going to be using the PlayStation controller here, not the mouse, but it's actually was a point and click game, right? So to show you a little bit, we have this menu which you can interact with your hands, with your foot, with your mouth, and with your eyes. So for example, you click something and you click the eyes, you probably read it or look at it.
Do not play in or around dumpster. Do not kick dumpster. Do not sleep in dumpster. Usage of this container for disposal of human remains may be a violation of local health ordinances.
So, you know, exactly, so, you know, check it around and
Empty.
usually have like a
I've woken up and worse.
funny thing to say. So that is the, you know, the mechanic of the gameplay. There's also like a fight thing where you know, where you're on your bike and you can fight with people. We're going to take a look at that later on. So, so yeah, so this is the first puzzle, and it's very easy. You know, if you can read the sign here, it says kickstand.
The kickstand.
So, for example, if you knock on the door, you will see that they're not going to answer you,
Open up.
right? And you want to go inside because if you check your bike here, you notice that you don't have the keys, and that pisses you off. Rightly so.
Some joker took my keys.
I don't like that.
like that.
So, you know, the idea is to get in here, actually you have to kick the door. Hence, kickstand.
I fixed your door. It was sticky.
Look, I don't want no trouble. Just leave me out of this mess.
So, for example, you can, you know, wash the things around
The monitor
the
doesn't
bar.
have any controls.
Like the pictures here,
Whoa.
for example.
Watch it, that's my sister.
It's always like funny, like a funny remark.
This your pit bull?
Nah, that's my baby picture.
15 guys with towels in their belts?
My graduating class from bartending school.
For example, if you interact with a hand with a
Yeah,
piano.
right. Good thing that's a badger.
Why?
'Cause if that were a dead polecat, I'd have to trash the place. Those might look good mounted on my handlebars. Nah. What's this?
It's a big blobby gray shape. I was taking an art class.
That's one big fish.
Yep. It's empty, don't get any ideas.
Ah, booze.
So the idea here is that you talk to this guy, right?
Looks like you're out of customers.
Yeah, your gang took off with those well-dressed gentlemen. So what'll it be, Mac?
Where'd everybody head off to?
What am I, the cruise director? Maybe they're up.
So yeah, so you have this like, you know,
I think you're
dialogue
really
options thing that we
cool
see
on
like
the
in
deal.
Witcher
Yeah,
games
well,
and things
what are
like
you gonna
that.
do about it?
So, you know, there's no more talking to
What
this
do you
guy.
have?
I want to know who knocked me out.
Maybe you just passed out. You should learn to handle your liquor. You want something?
I'm looking for my keys.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You gonna order something?
No,
So, you know, this is not
no.
going well. So, for example, if I use my hands
What
on
might
him,
look better on your nose?
What?
The bar. Now don't mess around with me.
All right, all right. I got your keys, but I don't know nothing. They had guns. They told me to stall you as long as possible.
Why?
I don't know. I overheard them say something about an ambush up the road.
What else?
Nothing. Look, man, here are your keys, all right? Oh, someone did say something about killing you and making it look like an accident.
They didn't do too good of a job there. But why ambush the polegats? I'd better get
I
moving.
better get moving. The voice of Batman. Alright, so now that I have the keys, for example, I can pull it up on the menu and use it here on the motorcycle or the bike. Put my killer sunglasses on and hit the road where I am indestructible, apparently.
When I'm on the road, I'm indestructible. No one can stop me.
But they'll try. So this is the where I told you that we have like a fighting mechanic on a bike. So this is what's gonna happen here. It's very simple. You know, you choose your weapon and then just hit the other guy. For this one, I don't have anything, so I just am gonna punch him in the face until he falls off from the bike. Oh heaven! This guy's hilarious. Let's get down. Doing a Victor Willie. But something goes wrong. So you see what I'm saying? Every time like they cut to another scene, the music like cuts abruptly, and that if I remember correctly, that didn't used to happen in the original game. I think that this is something I don't know. I don't know why is it doing. I don't like again. I don't know if it's my computer or I don't think so. But there's something wrong there. The cutscenes and the music doesn't sound. It doesn't flow.
Man, this is gruesome. My editor better print these in color. Now I have to get you some help, I suppose. Quit moaning. I know someone around here who can fix anything.
It's a funny character. Oh, keep moaning. Quit moaning.
What are you?
I'm a mechanic, and apparently a pretty good
Also, you saw there that there's like a difference
My name's
in
Ben.
in
Why did you
volume,
hit me over the head, Marine.
right?
You were in an accident.
So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I notice all these things.
What have you done with my bike?
Brought it back from the dead. Sort of like what I did with you. Need a little help getting it finished, though.
Who are you?
Maureen, remember? If that's too hard, maybe you should just stick with Mo.
Do you have a last name?
I prefer not to use it. What about you?
Same deal.
Then it's Ben and Mo forever, I guess.
This an authorized Corley Service Center?
You could call this a Corley Service Center, but I don't have the official paperwork.
Ah, an illegitimate Corley operation.
I prefer to think of it as a renegade Corley operation.
Where'd you learn bikes?
I grew up working on them with my dad. One summer we did nothing but restore this old hardtail together. I mean, we scrubbed every bolt until it shined. But he took off one day and he never came back. So I switched to toasters.
You live in this town?
Well, Melonweed's not much of a town. What's left of it is sinking about a foot a year. People either learn to adjust or they leave, which is fine with me.
Not a people person?
I'm just better with toasters, that's all. You seem more concerned with me than your bike.
How's it look?
It looks better than it did, but you gotta help me out. The front forks are wasted, so you'll have to get some new ones. And someone stole my welding torch. Can you believe that? I can't finish without one. And last but not least, I patched up your ruptured gas tank, but you're out of fuel and I don't have any.
How's it look?
Well, we need new.
I gotta get out of this town, fast.
Fast.
Trouble with the law?
Not in this county.
Then what's the hurry?
My gang's in trouble.
Polecats?
How'd you know that?
Big emblem on the back of your jacket.
They're headed for an ambush, so I gotta catch them.
We better get this bad boy back on the road then, huh?
I don't have any money to pay you with.
Hey, this one's free. I haven't touched
This
anything
one's
like
for
that
free.
for so long. Getting my hands on your hog has really been a pleasure. Don't sweat it.
Where am I supposed
The
to find all
subtle
this stuff?
innuendos.
You can hack it, tough guy.
Where am I gonna find new forks?
Well, they don't have to be new.
Yeah, they
Just
don't have to
not
be
broken
new.
into little pieces. You could start by asking Todd in the trailer across the way. He
Todd
likes
is some
junk
funny
art.
guy. He's a funny character.
How am I supposed to find your torch?
I don't know, set up a dragnet. Still can't believe someone would steal my torch. Who around here would do a thing like that?
Where's the gas?
Well, there's a whole tower full of it at the edge of town. I have this crazy, irrational intuition that tells me maybe it's worth checking out.
Actually, I think I can handle it.
Good.
Well, I'll let you get back to work.
Let me know if you need any aspirin or anything.
So, well, let me get a couple of things first here.
Who's this?
Oh, that's me and my Uncle Pete. He took care of me after Dad split at this place he called the Mink Ranch. And when he died, he left it to me.
You're a mink farmer?
Nah, that place went belly up long before he died. But I still go back there whenever I need to get away for a while.
I hate seeing her like this.
Why? It's really my best side.
She's got her hands all over my bike.
Jealous?
Oh, good, you're not dead yet. I might still get a quote.
I heard you saved my life.
Yeah, but don't worry. I wasn't trying to. I was just looking for some nice roadside disaster photos and you helped.
You'd want a picture of me bleeding.
It's not the blood. It's the way you were, all twisted up like a pretzel.
Like a pretzel?
Listen, I've got to stop an ambush.
Ambush? Really? Where?
Well, I don't really
Don't
know exactly.
My crew is escorting some VIPs to the Corley Motors shareholders meeting, and there's an ambush waiting for them somewhere up the road.
Yeah?
This is hard for me. I need...
Come on, man, spit it out.
Could you give me a ride in your car? I've got to stop this ambush.
You're right. We have to get to the ambush, all right. But I'm afraid I'm without wheels at the moment.
How did you get us here?
Hitched.
Well, I'd better be going.
All right, drive safe now.
It's empty.
Is it? Disappointing you.
Thanks for the lift. Now I got a quote for you.
Right, so like I said, I was gonna explain to you guys. The first part, you know, like getting out of the dumpster, trying to get the key from the guy. I remember that taking for me a while, especially because I was, you know, first of all, I've never played any point and click games. I've never, at that point, I was only playing like RPGs, like JRPGs, the Final Fantasy series, and all those things, and you know, the Mortal Kombat, the Street Fighter. I was into all those things on the console. So this for me was a whole new, you know, ball game. So, you know, the puzzles and the things that I think it took longer than, you know, usual for me to pick up, you know, the thing. So I spent days trying to figure out how to do all these things that you're gonna see me doing, and it was cool because, like I said, you know, the computer was a new thing in my house. So, you know, my younger brothers, my brother, my sister, we used to, you know, they used to watch me play, and you know, and they were giving opinions. Oh, you should probably do this. Maybe it's that. And, you know, even like that, it took days for us to finish. You know, not to finish this part. It actually took, I would say, a lot of weeks. I don't know, maybe months to actually finish the game. So
Probably all that's holding
so yeah,
us
so
back.
that happened. So Todd here was always a funny character. You're gonna know why now.
Apparently, this guy has a dog. It's even sadder looking inside.
So, for example, if you knock on the door,
Open up.
Who's out there? Hey, I'm trying to do my art in here, buddy. I don't got time to waste on...
I'm a friend of Moe's. I need...
Listen, I didn't take no welding torch. You hear me? I'm no crook. So get off my back already. What do you want?
This is important.
Not to me, you freaky-looking hood. Now, I got a guy...
Let me in.
Ha! Ha ha ha! Good one, punk.
I'm about to roll this tin can.
That's it. I'm calling the cops.
Good. I've been meaning to report a stolen welding torch.
Get away from my door, you bonehead punk. You stick around...
Candygram.
That's it. If you don't take off for good, I'll
what?
glaze your ugly puss with my welding torch. I mean, my hairdryer. I'll get out my hairdryer and burn you, so beat it. Hey, dirtbag.
So what you do eventually is that you
Get
kick
a
the door.
life, you.
So you could do this, you could actually kick in the door without him being there, just instead of knocking, just kick the door and you would be able to, to get here the lock pick here from the cabinet, and also the meat from what I'm guessing is like a refrigerator here. So that would help you with another puzzle, but you wouldn't be able to go downstairs. So if you go downstairs, besides his let's say art, you find the welding torch.
Ouch. I nominate that as least offensive of show. I hope he's not trying to bring these to life or anything like that. That would make a good mailbox post in hell. I had a dog with a funnel on its head when I was a kid.
So you take the torch, you take it, you give it to Marine.
That's my welding torch. How'd you get it?
Oh, it was just lying around.
A pair of forks, little gas, and we're set.
I mean, once you know the whole thing, it's very easy. But I don't know. For me, I was 14, playing computer games for the first time. I really took some time with it. This one was pretty particularly difficult for me at the time. So obviously, without the lockpick that you took from this guy's house, you cannot open this. So you can open this with a lockpick. But the thing was also that you need to pick up the actual lock. Don't leave it there. Just pick it up also, because you're gonna be needing it for another thing. So I'm gonna show you what happens when the normal thing you would do is to go up the ladder to get the fuel, because you have the fuel tank. Not the fuel tank. You have the. So usually I would just go up again, try to see if I can get the fuel, but these guys come and and they don't let me. So I used to do it again. I used to try to go upstairs, try to leave the place, and
Remain still, and we will not shoot you. I get to say fire before you do that, Floyd.
Sorry, boss. I got excited.
so yeah. So after a lot, and I say a lot of trying, I noticed that I can hide from them. Right. So what I used to do is touch the ladder to activate the alarm, and just hide right here. Again, this was difficult because I didn't know the mechanics. Now you see that for this remastered version, they did like a lamp, like a street light, like pointing at to that place to make it a little bit more obvious. But that was not there before on the original game.
Now stop moving so we can administer justice upon you.
So you see here. So you see here that it didn't work. I don't know why. I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I didn't go to the exact place that I was supposed to. Let me see. But yeah, well, how it goes. So yeah, so you just touch the. You see that's the light there over there. So you touch here, and then you go back here. So you see he's hiding there.
Remain where you... Hey, where is he?
I told you, I nailed him last time.
Well, who set off the alarm, Floyd?
Maybe somebody's just fooling with us.
Oh, it's him. It's that guy you keep missing.
Well, if you could hold this thing still while I'm shooting.
I'm going down for a closer look.
So once I got this part down, then I had to use
I don't see nobody. You must
the
be
hose and the thing that I got
Seen him
from
running from the air. He
Mo's
must be hiding
house,
up in the tower.
which
We got him.
I think I didn't have at the time, so that's why I didn't know what to do. But eventually I did get it, and then also trying to work it here was a little bit difficult because, again, the mechanics. So you have to put the hose on the tank here. So I remember getting that. And then using this here. And then you had to just use your mouth on the hose. And that also took me some time to get to it, to figure that out.
Hey, who's that down there in the yard?
It's him. Get him.
Where?
Over there. Quick. You go around the other side and we'll have him cornered.
Where'd he go? Let's call it quits, huh, boss?
No. Let's call on reinforcements.
So now I got the welding torch, the fuel. Now I need the forks.
Oh, good. You get this from the gas tower?
Not exactly.
Just a pair of new forks and we're on the road.
So now let's go to the junkyard. And also this was a little bit difficult also. I think this was the last one that I figured out before moving on. For me, as far as I remember, this was the hardest part of the game. Later on, I feel it's not that hard. So so we have this thing here that we can like pull, and the door opens. But we don't have we cannot do anything here. So we try to. So what you should do is you put the lock here at the door to secure it, and then you can use this to like climb, to climb up here. So that took some time to figure out.
Junk.
Also, you see here that you see the forks here, right? So, for example, if you go and try to grab the parts here, the dog from hell, appears, and it doesn't let you.
Down. That's one ill-tempered mongrel.
So, I try like giving him the piece of meat and all that, but it didn't work. What worked was that I had to go down. There's some area here to the right that you can go through, and there's like a magnet thing. So you have to go here and put the meat here in this specific car.
Here, Poochie Pooch. Pooch.
Not any of the other ones, because if you do, the dog was gonna
Bon appetit.
follow you and harass you. So now the dog is busy with the meat there, and now you can go up here and operate the machine, and then you can just the idea here is that you lift the dog. and then you lift the dog here, and you leave, and then you go back down. You can see the dog there, you know, hanging from the car. So now the dog is, you know, he's busy there. He can go down, and now you can take the fork. So this took a while also for me to figure out how to do all these things. But eventually I did, and like I said, you know, these were the puzzles that really I remember struggling with this game. After
Nice
this,
forks.
it was
Where'd you find them?
considerably easier.
Well,
Maybe it's
that's
because
it.
I
Wait
got the
outside for a
mechanic
minute
by
and I'll
then,
finish
you
her
know.
up. I'm working on a surprise.
Which is, obviously this is not a very
hate
difficult game.
surprises.
This is actually a very
Alright,
easy
here
game.
she comes. Am I cool or what?
You're amazing. I should crash that thing every day. So what's the surprise?
Oh, just your average everyday pre-regulation destroyer class solid fuel recoil
Recoil
booster.
booster.
You're serious?
Yes.
But only the vultures.
I have my connections. Now, can I try this thing out or not? Ooh, wish I had a camera.
I wish I had some way of paying you back.
Just beat it, will ya? You're scaring away my regular customers.
Bye, Mo.
Send me a postcard from the ambush.
So, you know, maybe it doesn't have the effect now because, you know, I did it in a couple of minutes. But I remember after spending weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, finally, like, getting the bike was a big deal. This scene was a big deal for me. You know, we're back on the road, back, you know, with my bike.
All right, look lively. He's a sneaky one.
This time he ain't getting past us.
So the guys actually, you know, got their reinforcement, and now they're looking for me, so I cannot go any further. So, you know, you do more or less what you did the last time. So you try and lure them with the alarm, and then just pass through them. So this was a very easy puzzle. It's just basically doing the same thing, right?
You hear that?
He's back at the gas tower.
He's got a lot of nerve, that piece of trash.
Let's get him.
All units follow me.
Ben, how'd you get behind us?
Where are the suits?
Corley's making a pit stop. He has a bladder the size of a thimble, man.
Ripburger?
Haven't seen him in a while. Ben, man, what's the deal? Did you find something up the road?
Are we headed for trouble?
No. We're in it.
Put my head in a basket, 'cause I'd had a
The tank full. When she blew my gasket, I surely was thankful. Till I heard from the skies up above, it's a woman with wheels that I love.
Come on, old man. I gotcha. Now, do something incriminating, like ambush somebody. Aha, the plot thickens.
You shouldn't have laughed at me in those board meetings, Malcolm.
What a psycho.
Gotcha. Hey, look what I found in the bushes.
What is that?
It's a chokehold. Come here and I'll demonstrate.
It's got a camera.
I'll get her.
No, Nestor will take care of her. You have an important engagement with the rest of the Corley family.
Right. But don't forget to destroy that camera.
Yeah.
Now then, Malcolm, how about one for the road?
Corley? Corley.
Ben! I guess Rip Burger couldn't wait for natural causes. Just like him to hit a man when his fly's down.
Rip Burger did this to you?
Yeah, he knew I was dying, and he knew that my will would put him out of a job. He wants to take over Corley Motors, Ben. Sell it off to foreigners, lay off workers, start making minivans.
You hear
understand
me? Minivans. Oh.
You gotta hurt him for me, Ben. Promise me you'll hurt him bad.
I promise.
I want my daughter to take over the company.
You have a daughter?
Yeah, and she's a real mechanical genius, Ben. Rebuilt her first carburetor when she was 4. I used to call her the diaper dynamo. Find my daughter, Ben. Find Maureen.
Maureen?
Who do you think she was?
Rip Burger's way ahead of me. I just hope Maureen can handle herself until I get there.
She can.
Gonna understand. Why'd he bring a camera? Who does this guy work for? Corley Motors.
Nestor, what's that moving over there by that pile?
I don't know, Rick, but I think that pile is bolts.
Yes, now I remember.
You the smart one, aren't you?
There's Mo's shack, but I don't see the limo. Maybe I beat them.
No, you didn't.
On second thought, maybe I didn't. Looks like someone searched this place in a hurry. Nothing left but debris, except for that smashed up camera. Back's open. No film inside. Mo said she didn't have a camera. Here's Mo's picture of her and her Uncle Pete at his mink ranch. She said she went there whenever she needed to get away for a while. That's pretty much my only lead right now.
So we try to go to the mink ranch, right? So you know, the first thing I did when this happened, you know, I took my bike and I went back. So you notice that there's like a
So
roadblock.
much for returning to the scene of the crime. They'll be coming this way soon. I gotta get a plan. Fast.
Obviously, because, you know, they just found a dead millionaire in a, you know, in a stop. So you obviously, you know, for a while I tried to see if I can do something here, but then I figured out that you can go back to the kickstand bar. And now you notice that there's a truck here. So you check out the truck, the semi.
This sucker's mine. Look, I really need a ride.
But the guy doesn't seem to be there.
Look, I really need a ride.
So you go inside the bar, right?
Hey, killer.
What?
Hey, it's cool. Your secret's safe with me.
What secret?
Haven't you been watching the news?
Once again, our top story tonight, Malcolm Corley.
So now you notice, and now you realize what was the actual ambush.
Outside the town of Melonweed. benevolent patriarch and CEO, was viciously beaten about the head and neck, savagely and without mercy. Police have arrested a notorious outlaw biker gang known as the Polecats.
No.
With the exception of their leader,
Who is still at large.
Roadblocks have been set up along Highway 9 in an effort to apprehend this dangerous and violent criminal.
We've been set up.
Roadblocks suck.
I shouldn't have left the gang there.
Hey, I don't want to hear anything about it. You ain't making me an accessory after the fact. Just lay low, man.
So this guy doesn't want to talk to you. You can continue watching the news, which is hilarious.
But their leader remains at large. Authorities have issued an all-points bulletin.
They got the polecats. I'm not putting my lips on that.
Latest reports suggest that the leader of the Polecats may have had an accomplice, a young mechanic.
Maureen.
The two are being sought by authorities for questioning in connection with the violent death of motorcycle magnate Malcolm Corley.
So you see here
Asked about the eminent shareholders,
that you can learn more.
Corley Motors Vice President Adrian Ripberger made the following statement.
We cannot in good conscience go forward with the shareholders meeting until the perpetrators of this misdeed have been brought to justice.
He's up to something. He wants us
You
dead
think?
before the meeting starts.
Authorities are still seeking the leader of the Polecats and his accomplice, both thought to be armed and dangerous. Members of the Polecat gang are in custody, but their leader remains at large. Authorities have issued an all-points bulletin.
Alright, so, you know, you should... The next thing is you talk to this guy, right? So he's the owner of the truck.
Seem to have a lot of time on your hands. Not to mention nicks and scratches. Am I distracting you? That your truck out front? I need a ride.
I look like a cabbie to you? Get lost. They're not letting anyone through that roadblock anyway.
Not even truckers?
They turned me around, said police business only. Pigs.
Look, I really need a ride.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna
I'm
happen.
afraid of some cops.
No,
No, because I don't like you.
I just killed a guy.
I'm just about to.
I don't think that's good for the table.
Hey, Quahog,
Yeah, Emmett?
I'm gonna be knifing up your table for a while, alright?
The customer with the knife is always right.
I can do that.
Not gonna happen.
So
Let me show you how to do that.
if you continue pressing him, he
Let me
eventually
show you how to do that.
lets you do it.
Gonna happen.
Let me show you how to do that.
Not gonna happen.
Let me show you.
I
how
mean,
to
you
do
really
that.
have to press him.
Not gonna happen.
Let me show you how to do that.
Not gonna happen.
Let me show you how to do that.
Not gonna happen.
Let me show you how to do that.
Not gonna happen.
Let me show you how to do that.
Not gonna happen.
Let me show you how to do that.
Only if it'll shut you up.
So then you have like an opportunity to do this, and of course it's very difficult.
You're pathetic.
Damn. Ouch. Damn.
Oh yeah, you sure are good at that, buddy. You're pathetic.
Alright, so the idea is that, you know, you cannot do anything else until you know, show this guy. So for example, I remember showing this guy the photo. Listen, I want to go to this place.
I need to get to this place. Uncle Pete's Mink Ranch.
I need to go in that direction too, but the pigs are running the sty tonight.
How poetic.
So the idea is that you need to find something to convince this guy to do it. So I remember this one was a little bit difficult for me also. I went back to melon weed and check to see if I can find something. But at the end, I remember that there's another thing here that can go back here. So I checked here, and all surprise, this woman was here.
Ben, no time to talk.
You know, it stank in there, but I can't remember a better sleep.
You gotta help me. Go find my editor in Corville. Tell him I took pictures of the Corley murder.
You got pictures?
Yeah, but some thug took my camera.
So you don't have any pictures?
Well, I tracked the guy to Melonweed, but I'm not going near the place. They'd kill me. Get my editor. He's gotta get me out of this. Take one of these fake IDs to get through the roadblocks. My career is riding on those pictures. Help me, Ben. You're my only hope.
And of course, she
Oh,
uses
don't
Star
worry.
Wars
I owe
slime.
you one. If
So
the
now I
Homeless
have-
thug is the same one that trashed Moe's place. That could be Miranda's camera I saw there. But then, who's got the film?
So there you go. So now you have a fake ID that you can show Emmett. And you show the thing to Emmett, and then that's how you get out of this place.
Here.
What's that?
Fake federal investigator ID. Could be of some use at one of those roadblocks. So how about a ride? What if they search the back and find my bike?
It's buried in a pile of concentrated fertilizer powder. Trust me, no one's gonna dig through that crap. Now you're gonna ride...
Literally through that crap.
The engine compartment?
Hey, I smuggle stuff in there all the time, and most of it's worth more than you. So stuff your carcass in there quick, and we might hit that mink dump by morning.
Hope you're better with a stick shift than you are with a knife.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Smells like he's got a fuel leak. I love engine fires.
Sorry, sir. Only police vehicles beyond this point.
I'm with the feds, chump. Check it out.
Huh? What's this about?
Undercover agricultural sting operation.
What's in the back?
Fertilizer.
All right, move along.
Hope you rubes get your man.
We stopped moving. Problem with your truck?
Loose hose, nothing big. I already pulled your bike out. It's sitting right over there. Well, nice knowing you. Gotta hit the road, you know.
Obviously very suspicious, right?
Uh-oh. He did have a fuel leak, and he took my fuel line to fix it. That trucker's gonna die for what he did.
Alright, so it's a little bit over an hour, so I'm going to take a little break. So I'll be right back, guys. See you in a bit.
The population is greatly decreased, and now the odds are greatly increased that I may someday get a chance to kiss your lips. I thank the Lord each day for the apocalypse. Folks are mostly disfigured or dead, but sugar, I won't let it go to my head. My mama's face has dripped down into the dirt, but I'm still chasing Chitlin's whiskey and skirt.
Alright, and I am back, guys. So, this was another thing that I wanted to show you. So, so this game had like a screensaver. So now whenever you were idle for a couple of minutes, it would show this screen with the showing like the 3D models of all the vehicles used in the game. So I always thought that it was pretty cool, and even back then when it was all pixelated, it looked cool. So that's an extra thing there. But let's continue with our quest. So, for example, if you try to go to your bike, you notice something, right? Oh, yo, you already noticed, actually.
The barn's locked. The barn's locked.
Alright. So you try to get inside here. You get inside of Uncle Pete's mink ranch. So you notice a lot of mink pelts.
Looks like a mink pelt. Lots of mink pelts.
Take a look at a couple of pictures.
That's the insignia of the vultures. I can't believe Mo used to be a vulture. But then again, how else could she have gotten that recoil booster?
Exactly.
There's a picture of Maureen and Malcolm. Looks like they're restoring an old hardtail together. I'm not putting my lips on that. Lots of bikes.
So, for example, you cannot open this.
I couldn't break that lock.
So you find here in the under the pillow, there's a tire iron. So with that, then you can open this. Simple puzzle.
Junk. And a hose I can use on my bike. I don't think Mo would mind if I borrow him. Mo?
Ba-na-na-na-na.
She took my booster fuel. Why is she running from me? She must think the whole world's against her. I think I know how that feels.
Freaking Emmett.
That does it. He's dead. That sign. That means I'm in cavefish territory. Cavefish.
Awesome bike. Cavefish. Goodbye, Emmett.
This cargo is worthless. We have been tricked, my brothers. Back to the cave.
Well, you weren't actually tricked.
The place looks deserted. Maybe the boss was wrong and she ain't coming here.
She's
Yeah,
coming.
she is coming.
We just got here first.
Yeah, no, you
Means
didn't.
All we have to do is sit here and wait.
So these puzzles here are also, you know, it was, but I remember it was not,
Maybe I'll just take a little.
yeah, maybe you should. It was not as difficult. So I had a tire iron, so I you know, so I did this. Thought maybe I was going to use
That's
it.
all of them. Can't be much holding that up now.
So since he said that, I said, well, maybe I should like kick or push the trailer to see. And it turns out that it did work because that is obviously you have to make them chase you, and then when they pass through here, it's you know, it makes them crash. So now I got a little bit of fertilizer in my pants, and now there's a lot of fertilizer on the street. So let's make them catch you. Let's make them chase you.
What a mess.
Rather. Oh. Look at him run.
Look at him run.
The things that amuse this guy. So now Ripburger comes, actually driving his own limo.
Boss, it was Nestor's fault.
Get in quick. I have a plan. We're going to lure the Corley remnant out of hiding with a bike.
Boss, she already has a bike.
Yes, but this one she worked on with her father. It's an emotional thing. Don't try to understand. Now hurry.
So this is where the real puzzle starts. So let's read the sign here of this gorge.
Professor Schmetterling's experimental flying suit. One of the gorge's many casualties. Ricky Myron's infamous gorge jump. This is the last picture ever taken of Professor Schmetterling. Notice, jumping the Cuyahoga Gorge, although tempting, is highly illegal and dangerous. We recommend the recently constructed Cuyahoga Gorge Bridge for transgorge travel. Drive safely. Tightrope walkers, hang gliders, human cannonballs. Many have tried to cross the mighty Cuyahoga Gorge, and many have failed, except for Ricky Myron, the Flying Torch, who jumped the gorge on a stock Corley motorcycle. It was later uncovered that he had modified his Corley with a pre-regulation destroyer-class solid fuel recoil booster and an automotive hover lift. Myron said he would gladly replicate the jump to clear his name, but his special ramp was stolen by a mysterious truck hijacking motorcycle gang. Recoil booster and a hover lift, eh? Thanks for the tip, Rick. You're right, though. I'll need that ramp.
So there you go. So now you have 3 objectives, which are getting the ramp, getting the recoil booster, and getting the hover thing, like a hover fan. So that one's the easiest one, because so I figured that this vehicle that these guys left here, you know, the vehicle hovers, so it probably has a hover thing that I can take, and I was right. So so I just stopped here, and obviously using this tool, open this thing here. So now I take that and put it here on the on my bike.
Looks okay for an aftermarket part.
So there you go. One puzzle solved. So now let's go to the other one. So now it's time to hit the roads here that you can see here on the exits. Mine Road. And you find Father Torque, which was the old leader of the polecats. So he gives you a lot of information about, you know, fighting here in the mine road, and, you know, things that you can do to cross the bridge.
Father Torque. I haven't seen you since you retired from the polecats.
Hey, Ben. How's my gang doing?
That's a long story. What are you doing out here?
Well, retirement's pretty boring, Ben. So I thought I'd come out to the old mine road and look for trouble.
You're picking fights?
That's what the old mine road's for, son.
Father Torque, I need your help. The gang's in jail and the law.
Ben, I'm not the leader of the polecats anymore.
Let me out of your mess.
Can't you see I'm on permanent
That's basically what he's saying.
Any fighting tips, Torque?
Ah, Ben, who's tougher than you?
Nobody, but those rod wheelers are uglier.
They're none too bright either. I'm sure you can handle them.
The vultures are quick, and they're nuts.
The ones with those boosters are hard to whip. Just remember, Ben, it's not about muscle, it's about timing.
So he actually gives you a lot of good advice.
Watch out, Ben. They're not out here for sport. They hijack big rigs. It's part of their religion. Don't get in their way. They're blind, cold-hearted killers.
How do the cavefish ride if they're blind?
Well, they're only blind because they wear those special goggles to shield their sensitive, cave-dwelling eyes. Special sensors in the goggles pick up the dots in the road and other large objects and landmarks to help them navigate. Kinda trippy, huh?
You know any way around Cuyahoga Gorge?
Around it? It's miles and miles long, Ben. What's the matter? Don't like bridges?
It blew up.
Ooh, sorry I missed that. Well, you could jump it, like Ricky Myron. Cavefish got his ramp in their hideout, you know.
Where is the cavefish hideout exactly?
Somewhere on this road. The entrance is totally invisible unless you got those weird cavefish specs. Can't talk anymore, Ben. Eating too many bugs.
Well, take it easy, Father.
Give him hell, Polecat.
So yeah, so now you have to start arming yourself, you know, try to get different weapons. For example, this guy is, what you're gonna say?
Is that a pre-regulation destroyer class?
So you remember that he said, like, these guys are hard to whip. So I thought that you should know, you should get like a whip to get him. So the closest thing I got here to a whip was like a chain, iron, like a dog chain, like a metal chain, iron chain. So these are the cavefish, which I need something to hit him with, because if I get close, they'll just, you know, shoot oil at me and make me fall. So I can't do anything about that right now. So my next big get here is with this girl, exactly. So she has a chainsaw, and what I have to do is use the fertilizer to put in her eyes.
You like choppers, huh? How about this? Oh!
So you see? So now I got the chainsaw, which makes the fighting thing a lot easier. So now I need to get like a wooden piece of wood so I can knock out these guys, because nothing else works with them, not even this. I mean, actually it did work, it does work, but what they do is that they, you know, auto-destruct. So, you know, I can't get the goggles which I need. So I need to, like, knock them out. So, you know, they're not able to destroy the thing.
Freaking now I'm mad.
Now I'm mad. So this guy has this, which is not very useful. I need two things. I need the wooden stick and the iron chain.
Aggressive little wart, ain't you?
So now I got that. So now I can whip the cavefish with it. No, I'm sorry, not the cavefish. The vulture guy. This guy. So let's see that in action right now.
You drop anchor or something?
So now I got this. I just need the ramp now. And the ramp I get it, you know, by going inside the cavefish hideout. And I need a wooden stick for that. I think I have a wooden stick actually. No, I don't.
Are you really a polecat?
So I need to get the wooden stick first and then get the goggles. I don't know if it's this guy or the black guy who has the wooden stick. Mine bike. Okay, so what's this guy? Alright, so now I am set to get my goggles. I had the wooden stick. This is a little bit tricky because I had to wait for them to put their head up and then knock them out with a wooden stick from a distance. There you go. So now I put on the goggles and wait for the cave to appear, which can sometimes take a while. Sometimes it can take a while for it to appear, but you see what I was talking about. These puzzles are not as, I don't know, I didn't find it so difficult because they're more like, I don't know, I would say that they're more intuitive than the first part, I think. So now we have the cave here. Pretty cool looking place. Also a very easy puzzle here. So there's the ramp. You pick it up, attach it to the bike. If you do anything else here, they will come and, you know, and get you. So you have to do this quick. So with this, you notice that if you push it, you know, it would bump out It will take out these things there in this in the road, and they already told you that they use that to guide themselves. So now you know that you have to do something about that. So after just a few tries, I figured out that this was the place. You hear the sound there. They're telling you, you know, you can do something here. So you see there that working there. So now that when they go after you, they, you know, they just crash. So now we're ready.
These boys.
All right. So let's grab the bike and let's do this. Let's do this.
Alright, I've modified my bike enough.
Yes, you have. Recoil booster, ramp, and finally the hover thing. You barely made it. So now we're at Coley Motors headquarters, where the action is happening. So you notice a little road there. But obviously the first thing I did, it was try to go, you know, knock on the door to see what happens. When you knock on the door, this guy comes out.
I'm here for the shareholders meeting.
Mr. Ripperger has postponed the meeting until Mr. Corley's murderers are apprehended. All the shareholders were notified.
Yeah. Well, I haven't checked my voicemail lately, Mac.
So, you know, just like with
Hey, open up. Let me in.
Beat it.
Jerk. Corley Motors. I've been meaning to come here for years. This is really a religious pilgrimage for me. A religious pilgrimage with a lot of butt kicking.
Alright, so then I noticed that you can go here. It looks like a stadium of some sort.
Souvenirs here. We got your hats.
So obviously, you know, you play with the
We got it all right here.
with the little
Sure. Take it for a spin. Just don't go out of range. Official Corley Motors merchandise. Our bunnies come with batteries included.
So he mentions there that the
like
bunny
it's
comes
getting
with
weak.
battery
Oh, great,
included.
you killed the battery.
So I remember wanting the bunny to put the battery
the
on
officially
here.
licensed bunny of the Corley Motors Smashatorium.
So what you do is that you make him ask him about
All
the
sides.
t-shirt
Excuse me,
here.
But are those shirts, are they all cotton?
Well, let's just see here.
And you can take the bunny.
%100% cotton.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm allergic to cotton.
Alright.
Fill our handy beverage hats with your drink of choice.
So, you know, after investigating the bunny and everything, I can't do anything with the bunny. But I remember that there was like another road back here. There you go. So after trying a couple of ideas with this, well, you're gonna know. What you're gonna see now.
There's the vulture's hideout on the other side of this field.
Obviously, you might think the Marine is there, right? So that's your goal. I have to go to the vulture's hideout.
And I guess it's all true.
But now you see that there's a minefield. So after trying different things, I remembered the bunny. So I put the bunny here, and this happened. So the bunny hops into the minefield and gives me the battery. Here it goes. So I take that battery and try to put that battery, on the car, because that way I can distract him. And now knowing that the bunnies can activate the minefield, now I can go ahead and distract this guy with a car in order for me to steal the box of bunnies that he has
Hey, big
there.
fella, come give our derby car a spin.
So, for
Souvenirs
example,
to remind you of your special smash.
It's a whole box of those furry things.
Buy your kids a bunny so they'll shut up on the long drive home.
so I put the battery here in the car.
That should put some life into it.
Sure. Take it for a spin. Just don't go out of range.
And that's what I do. I go out of
Don't be a
range.
cheap jerk. Buy something. Hey, don't go in there. Now look what you did. The
So-
entrance is all the way through the factory. Hang on, little buddy. Daddy's coming.
So now that he left, I
Now
can
it's just
steal
me
the
and bunnies.
the bunny thing here. And go back to the minefield.
The minefield's been replanted. Tidy little vultures.
So I put the whole box here, but you have to go ahead and pick them one by one.
Don't worry, I'm insured. Don't think so. No. I
So-
hate surprises.
Now you take the bunnies and continue.
I don't want to set off any of these boys.
You don't want to set up any of these boys? Why is it exploding twice?
I don't want to set off any of these boys.
That's the guy I was telling you about, Susie.
You sure?
Yeah. That's
This
the guy
guy
who
killed my father.
All right, vultures, rack 'em up.
Let's rip him quick.
Listen, Mo, you're making a big mistake.
Oh, Ben, you're right. We shouldn't do this quickly. We should draw this out, don't you think, Susie?
Hey, I got all night. You heard her, kids. Let's draw this out.
Your father,
Don't you dare talk about my father, you heartless bastard.
Corley, and I,
said shut up about my dad.
Malcolm once.
I said shut up about my dad.
I'm losing my temper, Marine.
Hey, you're about to lose much more.
Okay, that's enough.
Not quite.
I'm innocent.
You're in something, all right.
Let me go, or else.
So once I did this, and I tried the other ones, but when I try call your names,
I'll call your name.
which sounds lame, but that's the correct one.
What?
Because one of the options is Diaper Dynamo, which was what
Diaper Dynamo.
what Corley called a Marine.
How'd you hear that name?
Your father. He told me just before he died.
You bludgeoned my father and then talked about old times?
I didn't kill him. Ripburger did. A photographer took pictures, but her camera was stolen by the same thug that came after you.
I still have that roll.
Well, develop it, would you? While I still fit in my clothes?
Okay, you stay here.
Hey.
So I'm guessing she had a developing lab there in this bunker or whatever.
Yeah, well, don't sweat it.
I'm gonna get Ripburger even if I die trying.
No, we have to expose Ripburger at the shareholders meeting. That way, we take him down, we save my gang, and your father gets his dying wish. You take over Corley Motors.
Ripburger canceled the shareholders meeting. He made a statement to the press that there'd be no meeting until the murderers were brought to justice.
So, no shareholders meeting until we're both dead?
That could be arranged.
Okay, so here we go. Faking Ben and Maureen's death. Act 1, Scene 1. Adrian Ripburger, in a desperate attempt to lure our Maureen out of hiding, has developed the following lame-ass scheme. First prize at
Susie's
tonight's
so funny.
Smash-Up Derby is a
Badass.
tail that Mo restored with her dad. Rip hopes Mo will try to nab said bike on account of her sentimental attachment to it. So Ben and Mo play along, put on disguises, and enter the demolition derby, which ends tragically when their cars explode and both are presumed dead.
Question.
Please save your questions until the end. Now, the explosives in Mo's car can only be triggered by a head-on collision with Ben's car. This ejector seat projects Mo clear of the explosion, and she parachutes to safety.
Don't you think someone will notice her ejecting out of her car?
No, they'll all be watching you running around on fire.
Yeah, that's another question I have.
When your car explodes, you climb from it in flames and run around the stadium distracting the audience. In your cute little asbestos suit, of course.
That's some plan.
All right, then. Let's go blow you little darlings up.
All right, folks. Hang on to your chili dogs, cause it's time to start. The Corley Motors Smashatorium Amateur Driver Ultimate Destruction
Maximum Carnage Marathon.
Let's meet our crash cage gladiators. That mysterious-looking hooded figure wouldn't give us his real name. He prefers to be known as the Unknown Avenger. And that's just fine with us, isn't it, folks?
Oh, now I'm just embarrassed for them. Who do they think they're fooling with those ludicrous disguises?
And next to him is another masked newcomer. Please give a big Smashatorium salute to the Princess of Pile-Up, Doreen
S'more
Morley.
Alright, boys.
So this was, I remember spending some time figuring this out. because you know, like they don't give you a lot of information here.
Try and get away now, bicycle boy.
All right now, are you ready to see some reckless driving?
Yeah.
Are you ready to see some unnecessarily violent destruction?
Yeah.
Then let the Demolition Derby begin.
So now you see that these guys are after Marine, right?
Are you Ben?
Hang on, Mo. Here I come.
So, but the thing is, whenever I try to go, you know, get near her, you know, they don't let me. So there's no way to do this. I mean, there's no way around this. So after trying and trying and trying,
watch out for the Boom Boom Brothers, Mo.
I noticed that if I jump this ramp, which is very difficult,
Get over here and
controlling this vehicles. So I noticed.
That car stalled when I bounced off the roof. Looks like these babies have a glass jaw.
So I figured that I had to do that with them, but with the added thing that, you know, I should push this vehicle. Because when I tried to do that with the Boom Boom Brothers, it didn't, because they don't get close to the ramp. So what I figured was I could push this vehicle and put it, you know, next to the ramp on the other side, so I can, you know, jump. See, so I can. So I can push the vehicle there. So this worked. So I jumped the vehicle and then.
Boom Boom Brothers.
You can
It's
pass.
all over.
I can jump on top of the Boom Boom Brothers and stall them. So now the thing is set up. So after I figured this out, after, you know, days and days trying to see how to do this. And remember, you know, back in 1995, there weren't like a place I can go online to look for things like this.
What's that? It's the unknown Avenger, and he's on fire! Let's give him a hand, folks. That looks painful. We really should put him out right away, but what a show, huh?
Also here, I didn't know what to do. Then I figured out that I can burn the place. You know, I can make like a hassle here.
Well, folks, it looks like the party's getting a little out of hand. The stadium seems to be catching fire, but let's all remain calm.
So that was a distraction, right?
Yeah, you're right. The derby's over. Run for your lives!
Finally. Now, squish that firefly while he's hot.
Look at him
Look
run.
at him run.
So this is another little puzzle, you know, because whenever you get off, they try to, you know. So what you do is you try to get on top of them, and when they're near here, you know, and they'll just do this, what they're gonna do now.
What happened? Did you get him?
We finally got him, Bolus. That means Ripburger has to make us vice presidents now, like he promised, and give us 10,000 shares of stock each.
Is he now?
Funny smell. What's that? The temperature light?
Well, on the bright side, I just made 20,000 shares of stock. Time to start the shareholders meeting.
Where's the hardtail?
All over the floor, Mr. Avenger.
What? What happened to your deep sentimental attachment to your father's vintage bike?
Ben, it's just a bike. I can put it back together in about a half an hour. That's assuming, of course, I can find that key.
What key are you talking about?
Key to my dad's safe. I remember he hid it somewhere on this bike, but I've looked everywhere and I can't find anything that even looks like a key.
What's in the safe that's so important?
My dad's will. I'm counting on him to tell the truth about me, finally.
Why did he keep you a secret all these years?
He didn't want people to find out about my mom.
What's so bad about Mrs. Corley?
She wasn't my mom.
Ah. But how are we going to get in the factory?
In the back of the factory, there's a secret entrance that leads straight into Dad's office.
I remember
He used to sneak me in
when I heard that the first time obviously I was 14. So what do you mean
this is back when I
she
was
wasn't
6.
my mom? I was like, what? So I'm adopted? What's so? And then I figured out that that her mom is not Mrs. Corley.
How do I find the secret
I was probably a
passage?
dumb kid.
Well, it's tricky. You have to wait for all the utility meters to turn black. Then you kick the wall in just the right spot, and you're in.
How do I find the right spot to kick?
Dad just knew exactly where to kick it. But I remember that there was this big crack in the wall, and if I lined up that crack with my eye level and kicked the wall right in front of me, this weird portal would open up.
What if I can't find that spot?
Just line up your eyes with the crack, wait for the meters to go black, and kick.
That kicking part is pretty vague.
Look, I was only 6. Give me a break.
I'll never find that secret passage.
Hey, Ben, can't you see I'm busy? If I could find the spot to kick when I was only 6, I'm sure you can find it on your own.
How was your flight?
Well, there were some explosions during takeoff, and I landed in a minefield. But other than that, it was fine.
I'm fine, by the way. Thanks for asking.
Great, now help me find that key.
What are we in, anyway?
It's a C-330 Big Mouth industrial cargo jumbo transport we fixed up. We want to get it rolling so we can take it to biker rallies.
You're going to try to fly this thing?
Rolling, Ben. Rolling.
Rolling with the
Ben's flying
homies.
days are over, just like mine.
Remember that time you tried to kill me?
Yeah, we really taught you a lesson. Get it?
I'll see what I can do.
Right.
Alright, so when you look at the parts, this one was the 1/15/44/92, just simply because it was a 6-figure number, a 6-digit number. You're going to notice that when we get to the place. So let's go to the place where we're supposed to go, to the secret
Show them
entrance.
to someone important if you get a chance.
Which is here in the back of the factory or whatever it was. So I remember figuring this out pretty quickly because I said, yeah, but if she was 6, if she aligned her eyes, the crack is gonna be down here. So I figured this very quickly. I remember I felt intelligent, right? I felt smart by doing this. So it was an easy puzzle. So now, obviously, here we have Mr. Corley's office.
Look at that stadium burn. That's going to take a bite out of the pension fund. Very austere. No drawers. Now, that's art.
So obviously, the floor saved you. So you notice it has 6 digits. So that's why I knew it was this one. So it's you remember which one is it? 15, 44, 92, right?
There's some sort of card. A tape. I sure hope that's Corley's will. It's open.
Alright. So, I'm going to take another quick break here. So I'll see you in a bit.
The population is greatly decreased, and now the odds are greatly increased that I may someday get a chance to kiss your lips. I thank the Lord each day for the apocalypse. Folks are mostly disfigured or dead, but sugar, I won't let it go to my head. My mama's face has dripped down into the dirt, but I'm still chasing Chitlin's whiskey and skirt.
And we are back. We are back, and as you can see again, we had the screensaver thing here. So you can see, for example, Rip Burger's limo, or Corley's limo, or Coley Motors limo. Pretty cool 3D modeling there for a 1995 game. Alright, so let's continue. We're almost at the end of the game. So for example, if you come in here, you had a card to open this door, but I always like checking this woman out, Mavis. It's funny as hell.
Was not only an inspirational leader, but also a great personal friend. His loss affects us all deeply. Malcolm and I spoke often of the future. We talked of a day when Corley Motors would move beyond its humble beginnings into a new vehicular age. And although his tragic death took him from us sooner than anyone expected, Malcolm Corley's dream remains. And I shall carry out that dream in his memory. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present to you the future of Corley Motors. The Corley minivan.
Malcolm was right. And he did this, you know, Nixon thing.
Minivans, though.
Hey, who are you? How long have you been there? Oh, security! Help! Security! What took you so long? He ran down the hallway. Move it.
Mavis must be saying things.
Alright, so I get back in, and this time I used a card that I got from the safe. Here it is.
Cool.
So after, you know, also this took some while to figure out, but if you stop the film and then you put the light source, the lamp at, you know, full gear, this would happen, and this would disrupt the
Oh, perfect. This is a disaster.
You're telling me we're gonna have some major downtime here. Why don't you tell a joke or something?
I don't know any jokes. You know, this reminds me of an amusing anecdote about
Well, I'm out of ideas.
So now that Mavis is trying to fix this, now you can go ahead and put the photos here and the tape, and this would definitely, you know.
Now, this next slide shows our new, more aggressive corporate strategy.
Hello there. If you're hearing this, I must have croaked. Well, people gotta move on, you know, and make room for other people. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. I've made room for someone else to take my place at Corley Motors. And it ain't that embezzling crook Adrian Ripburger. Rip, You don't belong at the head of my company. You belong in jail. I let that man talk me into far too many things. Like keeping my daughter a secret. He was wrong. I was wrong. I should have stood by her. I hope, Maureen, that you forgive me. And that you take over Corley Motors and run it however you see fit. All right, that's enough. How do I turn this damn thing off?
I'm sorry you had to hear that, Tate, from one of Malcolm's psychiatric sessions. Near the end, he suffered many paranoid delusions. He was haunted by powerful forces of his own creation.
And here's one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maureen Corley, and do I have a heck of a story for you. By the time I'm done, you'll see why this man should be in jail. Hey, where do you hobble off to?
Uh-oh. There he goes.
Look at him run.
And then he sent his goons after me.
Run, Ripburger. When it's time to find you, we'll just follow the shiny trail.
Yes, of course we'll have daycare facilities. Any other questions? Oh, speak of the devil. Come over here, Ben. That was great, Ben. We're finally where we were meant to be all along.
So this was framed like a fake ending.
After we pick up your bike,
You know, it has like an ending music, and then they're talking about the future. Has a nice, you know, sunset.
don't complain. You're going to be rich.
At this point, I'd settle for just a little peace and quiet.
And then, of course, the game's not over.
She interrupted my speech then. She really shouldn't have. I was just about to talk about the inherent dangers of motorcycle operation.
Can't you make this damn thing go any faster?
So this puzzle was a little bit confusing, but at the end, this is the sequence. You have to open up the grill, and then just open the panel to grab Ripburger's cane. Right? So there you go. Oh, I didn't.
My cane!
So there you go.
More than a cane when I'm through with you, Ripburger.
Because if you try to go anywhere else, he'll shoot you, right? He has a gun. So you take the cane and put it here because nothing else would work. So the cane is the other thing that will work to stop this. Then you go inside, and you go out the back, and then you use again the tire iron to open this thing and take out the fuel hose here.
No one sneaks up on me from behind.
Maureen saves you here. But the thing is that we got now Ripburger inside the
I thought you said this thing couldn't move.
I said it couldn't fly. I never said it couldn't taxi.
Well, flying would be nice since we're headed for the gorge.
Ripburger, you're going to kill all of us.
Shh, Ben, don't ruin the ending.
How do you stop this thing?
From the cockpit.
So yeah, so I just grab the ladder here, shoot, but nothing happens.
Careful, Ben.
and then I just continue. So once up here, the sequence also, this took a lot of
I could have used those.
trial and error. But so the thing is that you have to choose takeoff, post takeoff, gear, and then raise gear.
There goes nothing.
Ben, what did you do?
And now I save Mo.
Ben, are you alive?
I am, but I don't know about Ripburger.
I can see him. He's out cold. Climb back here
Is he?
quick.
So if I try to go back to where Mo is, he'll shoot.
Careful, Ben.
I'm taking you and your friends with me, Ben.
All you're taking is the wrong kind of medication.
Alright, so I have to go inside the truck here, the semi, and do basically the same thing. I mean, not the same thing, but go into the menu. So, defense menu, machine guns, control, system off. And of course, can't beat a Corley.
Well, that answers that.
Wait, come back. We need your weight in the plane.
So this is the last thing you do on the game. I remember in the commentary, Tim Schafer saying that he always thought that fireball there looked like a croissant. Now I cannot unsee it.
Was a game to him, and he played it
So obviously,
by his own
that is the
rules.
point. And the first time I saw it, I thought, well, maybe he didn't make it. Ben didn't make it.
To most of us,
You know, everyone's there, even this guy.
an
But then
inspiration.
you see that he
to us
is
all.
there. So then you say, oh, of course, this
He
is
gave us freedom.
Corley's
He gave us power. He gave us wings. He
funeral.
gave us wheels. Thank you, Malcolm Corley, for giving us a dream that will never die.
So,
So,
maybe we could do lunch sometime next week.
yeah, sure. Lunch sounds great.
Things aren't gonna change, are they, Ben? I mean, just because I'm in charge of the company now, and living in a mansion and riding around in limos, that doesn't mean we won't spend a lot of time together, does it?
Look, Mo, you're in a different league now. You shouldn't be hanging out with the likes of me anymore.
But Ben... Oh, just a second. Hello? What? No, that's crazy. Is he nuts? Look, move the meeting up to 5 and tell the plant foreman that I'm coming over personally to inspect those parts. I know, that's what I told him. Excuse me, what was that last part? No, that alloy was flawed to begin with. Uh-huh, yeah, good, great.
So now this is the real ending of the game. And so I would like to thank you guys for, obviously, in the memory of Roy Conrad, who died recently. You know, the voice of Batman and Ben here. So, So I wanna thank you guys for watching this with me. This definitely has been a a nostalgic trip, right? Back to 1995 with this first computer I had in my house, and you know, the world opening up on me on in regards of games. You know, this is probably the first PC game I ever played. So you know, when I heard that this game was gonna get a remake, a remaster, I obviously bought it. I also bought the remaster for the Grim Fandango, which I'm gonna do also later. But that game I didn't play when it came out. But I've always heard that it's like the best of this type of games. They all consider like the Grim Fandango like the pinnacle of point and click or adventure games, as it was called. So let's just enjoy the awesome music here for a while. All right. After the credit sequence, we're gonna go back to the main menu, and also I'm gonna go ahead and I was gonna say we're gonna check a couple of the art of the that they have there at the special bonus section. Some of the concept art for the game. So let's just enjoy the credits for a couple of minutes, and I'll be right back, guys.
their knees. The great society's melancholy sits there and thinking now at least it kept out rain. With all those corners cut, the cracks go wide and near. I heard some cats say, but where it's gone and clear. Who goes there next? I don't know. I don't know nothing anymore. Tomorrow's legacy that's laying instead where to breathe. I always heard that when a man goes down, you do your best to pick him up. How can no good kindness trickle down now? When it's time to feed off and teach the cup. I'm telling you once and I ain't getting round. You got 2 weeks to get out of town. Gonna give you 2 weeks till I break out the plow. Set the scarecrow free, the mistake in the ground. So long, roll on. The plow is greased and it's ready to crease. Better get out of town. Tell me, darling, are you happy now? Got your back to the wall. One kick sends you down. No kind of cash was that lash. You choose to play. That's how to play. Well, are you happy now?
The population is greatly decreased, and now the odds are greatly increased that I may someday get a chance to kiss your lips. I thank the Lord each day for the apocalypse.
All right, so that is the end of the game. Obviously, I there's something I don't remember. I don't remember if the bunnies here at the end. I think that you had to do like certain things in the game for the bunnies to appear here at the end. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. But I think that there was like if you get the real, if you do things, I don't know if maybe it's not right what I'm saying, but I feel like you had to do something special to get the bunnies here at the end. I don't know. So that is the game. Again, I think it holds up. It's a great, awesome game. So here we're back at the menu, and here let's check the bonus real quick. So, for example, of course, there's audio commentary. I don't know, maybe I can play the audio commentary. So let's, first of all, let's check out the art. Awesome. Awesome concept art. Here in the kickstand. World scenarios. World sceneries, not scenarios. This is Todd's junkyard, early Emmett and Ben. Ben Throttle. Todd. Ripburger, Marine, Ben. Pretty cool stuff. Some of the vehicles. Moe's. The logo. The crane. Some pretty cool stuff. Some of the bikers. Vulture, Susie. More Ripburger. The Destruction Derby thing. So you listen there in the background. That was probably my favorite song of the whole game. It's funny as hell. I beg the Lord each day for the apocalypse. Go to my head. More of the vehicles. Chitlins, whiskey, and skirts. The reflection on the toaster, which is pretty cool. Uncle Pete's mink ranch. Murder scene. Melon weed. Moe's place. Todd's art. Alright, so that's those are the concept art. Now let's check the jukebox, and let's check. Of course, you heard this song and you heard it at the end. There's one song that I want to play for you guys, which this is a song that I think this is one. This is the one. Moe's Shop, I think it is. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Moe's Shop. So this song, this piece of music, really takes me back to 1995 and this, like, you know, this time where I just got this new computer and was playing games on computers for the first time. You know, I don't know if it's because I heard it that much. It's a beautiful song. It's peaceful, and I think I heard it a lot because it was played during the first section of the puzzles, the one that I told you that I spent weeks, probably months, trying to figure out. So it reminds me of that, and it's very peaceful, and I love it. So let's listen to it. Awesome song. So this is the hi-fi version of it. Let me see if the low version, the lo-fi, because I don't know what they did to these songs. Maybe they like remastered them or something. So if I click here and I play Moesha. Yeah, it's very different. So it definitely sounds more like it was before. I don't know why simple melodies, a simple like riff, and a simple chord progression, but it feels and it's, I don't know, it's so nostalgic to me. So I don't know, maybe let's listen to some of the commentary. I don't know if you Alright.
Hello everybody, I am Tim Schaefer. I was the project leader on Full Throttle, and welcome to this exciting commentary.
I'm Larry Ahern, and I was lead animator. I'm Casey Ackley. I was production manager.
I'm Stephen Shaw, and I was the lead programmer.
I'm Peter McConnell, and I was the composer.
And I'm Clint Bajikian, and lead sound designer.
Is there a reason you're not doing it like Drunk History?
Would you like a drink? Because we have
Wouldn't
some.
that be funny? No, not right now. I think we come up with a lot more stories.
Yeah, we'll do that for our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Drunk Game Commentary. All right, you guys.
All right. So.
So this is our dramatic intro to the game. We want to be super cinematic, and it has the fabulous voice of Roy Conrad, the late great Roy Conrad. And now we're getting into our celebrity voiceover. Anyone know who the celebrity is?
Yes.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill as Rip Burger, super evil.
He does a great job.
He's amazing.
Rip Burger, you're dumber
we knew
than
a little
dirt.
bit that he would do a great job, not just from the Star Wars stuff, but he was already the Joker at this time. He was already the Joker in the animated. One of the
Oh,
animated
Mr.
TV series.
Corley.
So who was Corley?
Malcolm Corley was Hamilton Camp. Hamilton Camp,
Oh,
who was
there's
also
Tim's butt.
passed away, unfortunately. There's my
Oh
what?
yeah, you got to go back to that. It's
Tim's
little
little
gold
butt.
Tim.
Little gold Tim butt. Oh yeah, that was
Oh, there'll be a glory shot of that later.
that was a Charlie Ramos.
I remember Peter McConnell making fun of me for the destabilizing
Mr.
your air
Corley.
condition line. Here goes Ben's Now this is. Are we using the Rebel Assault engine yet? Oh wait, my nude scene's coming up.
Here we
Everybody,
go.
cover your eyes. Nobody look.
There it is.
Oh, there it is, right.
The only
Decent
difference.
exposure.
Yeah, you're welcome, everybody, for that. And some great Gone Jackals music comes in here. This is still an introduction that I love to watch because it was really different than Day of the Tentacle, which is our last game, where we had a lot of trouble just getting the founding fathers to animate as they jumped out the window when you chopped down when you scared them out of the Constitutional Congress. Moving that many pixels of the screen was impossible, but this time we were using the Rebel Assault engine, which was called what?
Smush. Yeah.
And Steve,
Well,
how
it's
did
the Insane engine.
Wait, now what? Okay,
Right,
you tell us what was
right,
going on
right.
here.
The Insane engine. It was the Insane
The
engine.
Insane
Smush was
engine.
The tool that you created the Insane
Okay.
streams with.
So this came about because the advent of CD-ROMs, which had basically infinite storage compared to what we're used to on the 3.5-inch. Oh, look at these amazing credits. Here comes Steve's.
Glory shot.
Yeah, nice.
So they're watching the credits while talking
I love
about
opening
this. So
credits.
that's
I guess I feel like they just set the mood.
Yeah.
And they. Oh, Brian Rich. They set the mood and they make you feel like you're going to see something.
they do set the
awesome
moods, definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you get to hear all this
Yeah.
awesome music.
Live band.
So CD-ROMs came out and Myst was a big hit, and then Lucas made Rebel Assault, which was like took 3D rendered trenches and you could fight TIE fighters in these trenches, right?
Right.
And then we're like, we'll take that.
Yeah, Vince came up with the streaming engine and did really well, and he kept doing improvements on it for Rebel Assault 1, Rebel Assault 2, et cetera, and this got put into here and to do the
Yeah, it was mind-boggling at the time because he's like, look, I'm gonna do this thing. It's gonna store the data for one frame, and then the next frame, it's not gonna have the whole frame. It's only gonna have the data that changed. And we're like, what? That's a compression idea that has never been. That's crazy. So it allowed us to do full screen animation like this. And I'm sorry about telling this story, but we were talking about making a movie of this with MTV. Do you remember?
Oh.
MTV wanted to put this on liquid television.
Yeah.
And
I remember hearing about this.
and I was in MTV in New York, and I was talking to a guy about it.
I remember
and,
some people
he
saying
was
that
saying
Mel
he was playing
Gibson
this
should
intro to the game,
play
that
Ben.
Mike Judge had walked by. Mike Judge was doing Beavis and Butthead at the time, and he walked by and he stopped and he walked back in. He listened. He's like, "Did that guy just say whenever I smell asshole, I think of money?" And that's what I think of whenever I hear that line. And I had to tell that story. We probably can't use that story in the commentary though. But now you know.
Whenever I smell asshole, I think of Marine. I should change the name of this stream. Asshole and Trouble.
I remember Casey was Tim Wrangler.
Tim Wrangler. But this wasn't, it was Grimm where you were listed as pre-production.
I was the
producer,
production
right?
manager on Full Throttle.
Okay.
Although I love
And
the
then
name of the title producer, I was really just producers.
Why, who was the producer? Did we have?
Well,
We
Lucas
didn't have a
didn't
producer.
have producers.
We had a project leader.
And actually, when we did have producers, I remember that didn't help so much because it would be somebody that was on like half time or less.
It was me and Wayne splitting all the projects down the middle.
As producer, you mean?
The very beginning, yeah.
Tucker can, if we still don't respect producers around here, we still treat them like, right?
That's a more prestigious title than producer.
One of the really fun things about sound design for this game is Michael and Peter and I would occasionally have lunch with Gary Rydstrom, who is a sound designer up at Lucasfilm, and it was Skywalker Sound, and he did the sound for Titanic and Jurassic Park and Saving Private Ryan, and I mean, come on, this is one of the very top sound designers in the world, and just having conversations with him. That's when we decided to really record a lot of the sounds originally. Go out in the field with mobile recording rigs, and then also combining things creatively. People all talk about it today, but back then it
takes a lot to make a game.
I think in the games industry, to say combine the Lion Roar with the kickstart of the bike, for example.
Yeah, that was definitely the first game we did it on. Because
Yeah.
playing Dot recently, I was like, I think these all came off a CD. I think all the sound effects in Dot, there's a lot of like
we
from
were lucky to even
a cartoon sound effects
have those.
library, and then immediately with Throttle, it's like you started the bees in the jar.
Oh, yeah.
The
I always talk about
bees in the
'cause
jar.
It was so funny that like you got 4 motorcycle sounds out of the 4 different motorcycle tribes, the gangs in the game. You had the bees in a jar that were slowed down a lot for the Rottweilers and sped up a lot for the cavefish.
Yeah.
So do you remember the components of like Ben's bike?
Well, Ben's, we hired a biker from San Francisco who had a Harley chopper.
Very customized.
Very not painted. It was all just sort of nickel colored and straight pipes, which basically were like cannons going off every stroke. And there's just so many stories about that whole recording session.
Set off car alarms when he drove through it.
Set off car alarms. And he was the real deal too. I mean, he had a couple bikes, but he brought that one up to Marin, and we had a whole long recording session. And that ended up being Ben's bike.
Wait, I want to hear about how you got the bees in the jar.
Oh,
yeah.
I think that was a library
That
sound.
actually was a library sound, but we used a lot of sort of
Well, I thought you captured all the bees. It must have taken all day.
I remember Gary Rydstrom came around and actually looked at the game when we were working on it.
That's right. He liked a couple things. Yeah, in fact, he complimented. I had looped a tiger growl and looped it for an element when the bike is just idling, and he goes, "Nice loop." That's one of the things you just.
But whatever, I thought there was a donkey bang and a
there were all
jet engine and a
kinds
line
of
roar.
things,
So those are the other biker gangs, not Ben's
Yeah,
bike?
in Ben's bike, the main thing was the lion when he kicks it over. The lion roar with the sound of a bike being kicked over. And then the purring. It's not a purr, but it's kind of like a throaty growl of the tiger for when it's just idling.
I remember the dumbest things, like the back of the bar where the dumpster is. I just remember telling Peter Chan to get rid of the ladder. Like he had a ladder there that went up onto the roof, and that was part of the learning. Like you can't put interesting things in adventure games because like the player's gonna want to go up that ladder and climb up. So he had to paint it out. He was so mad about that. But and I think of this room where we started talking about how did we do a game that stylized. Do you remember this, Larry? Like stylized, but not a cartoon for kids. We didn't want to go quote unquote realistic, but we wanted to do something that was more adult. And remember, you guys talked a lot about Mike Mignola and
we're looking at Hellboy
and how things disappeared into the blackness a lot. And so you can see in the
Mike
bar, there's a lot
Mignola
of
style.
TV and the pipes
Mike
and stuff that
Mignola?
just kind of disappears into nothingness. And there's the bartender's name is Quahog. I don't know if that comes up ever in the game, but his name was always Quahog, which is like from Moby Dick. It's how Queequeg misspells his own name when he signs into the log of the ship.
Whenever I would do a search on it, I would always get Queequeg. I'm like, is that supposed to be? Because I remember you saying it was related to that. And then working with the animation team, trying to do the high-res versions of all these characters, every time I got an email about it, it was spelled differently.
Yeah.
It's Quoog. It's Queeg.
Queeg.
Oh man, dream sequence.
I remember this scene was literally tossed together in about an hour. We need something in here after the wreck.
You mean lovingly crafted
Lovingly, yes.
in an hour.
Sorry, is that what's supposed to be on the commentary about how much effort was put into these? A lot of it was we had such a tiny team, and we're going, the whole thing will be fully animated. It'll be crazy.
Watching this, I'm realizing, like, after Day of the Tentacle, where we had just 3 full-screen animations in the whole game, like, what did we sit down and say, like, hey, this next game is going to be crazy, and we're going to have all these full-screen animations the entire time?
Yeah, we said it was going to be a completely cinematic thing. Everything, there's going to be scenes.
I don't remember realizing what we were taking on in the beginning.
No, we had no
Which is
idea.
probably the special talent I have that lets me do with these games, which is to not think about what this is going to
Because
entail.
we would basically plan out the scene, and about the only thing I remember doing to try to keep it reasonable was saying, if we edit enough, no one shot will have that much animation in it. Just as the animation's getting complicated, cut to another angle, you know. But still, the scene was going to last X amount of frames long. It's like somewhere in there, you're going to have to animate something. So we just did a lot of fast-cutting MTV-style stuff, and we kept saying, well, if you cut to a close-up of the face, then not much is moving.
Like, if you do a master shot and you have a bunch of people doing stuff in it, that would take forever to animate. People picking up objects, putting them down, lip-syncing. But if you cut to just someone's eyes moving slightly, it's more dramatic, and it is less.
Yeah, so it was always like, the guy that's swinging the wrench at the thing that's going to blow up, you'd get him to start to move, and then you'd show the reaction of the guy being surprised. And then you hear boom, and then you cut back in the little whispers.
Yeah, you remember how we got the rock and roll to sound so good in the game?
Oh, we just deliberately distorted it?
Yeah, we turned it up because of the low sample rate. We turned it up so it was about 50% too hot.
Clipping.
So it was clipping, so all the waveforms were being chopped.
Right.
For all you audio geeks out there. It's a real no-no. But it sounded
It
was
good.
the best way to do it for that particular
Well,
sound.
since we're talking about Smush, which originated, I believe, with Rebel Assault, right? With Vince, in an earlier incarnation at least. And Vince liked to do everything himself, and we were a little miffed in the sound department because we found out that he had dubbed the Star Wars main theme himself using a boombox.
Right.
And the headphone output.
Right.
So, more geeky audio stuff, but basically a headphone signal is an amplified signal, right, to drive the headphones, and he put that right into the computer, to the Sound Blaster card, and sampled it.
Sound
And it
Blaster.
sounded really big and huge and over the top, and we said, Vince, let people do this who know how. So we couldn't get it to sound as good as he had it. No matter what we did. And then I finally realized the only way to get it to sound better, or even just a little better than what he had, was to deliberately clip it and overdrive the analog signal and overdrive everything.
Chan does a lot of designs where you can see, like, the story of the town is that it's sunk. There's obviously a building that was here before, and it just sunk, and they're just like, screw it, let's build another house on top of it. And they just build another one. Like a lot of he does a lot of double houses. There's some of that in Psychonauts, like roofs upon roofs.
Smart.
Remember this was one of our big things, was changing the interface, so we get a full screen game this time around, as opposed to Day of the Tentacle, where you had to look up and down.
Day of the Tentacle.
But in this game, we wanted there's a theory that, like, you should have the interface where people's eyeballs are, and their eyeballs on the cursor, so let's make the interface pop up on the cursor. And I remember that you hadn't seen that a lot. I think at the same time, you guys over at Lucas Learning were doing, remember the secret project? The secret library archive project? There was you guys were doing one where the interface popped up near the cursor?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that was cutting edge, you guys. Cutting edge cursors. I have an electrician friend who yelled at me for using the term subcode wiring. He's like, that's not something electricians would ever say.
So we lost a lot of electrician fans.
We lost, But, Ben's not an electrician. What are you going to say?
This is the first scene that you hear the Chitlins Whiskey and Skirt song.
That's my favorite song.
Increased Chances.
Yeah.
Well, it's the great John Spiegel of Chicago, friend of ours.
It creates a narrative problem in the game, though, which is that
post-apocalyptic.
We were always like, this is not a post-apocalyptic game. This is just an alternate reality, like an alternate world. Like, there's been no nuclear devastation. This is just a gritty, highway-based part of the country, and in the future. And but a lot of people thought it was like, because it is inspired by Road Warrior a lot in terms of its cinematics and the way it tells the story.
Yeah.
But there's nothing post-apocalyptic about it. But that song is all about nuclear, like it's a post-apocalyptic song, and so it kind of feeds into that. So
It's good to create false rumors, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is the first scene we did.
I always thought it
This
was
is the first thing we ever wired up in the game.
Yeah, we did this one specifically
yeah.
for, was it CES
Oh,
or whatever
right,
else, and we
right.
had to get it done, and we had just the assets for this.
That cracks me up that we
He's
made
walking
like a
sideways
two-room
and
puzzle
sliding.
for CES. Did we do a special version of Ben? Because like he's
Yeah,
all
that's
darkly
the black,
lit.
I
We didn't
know.
have dynamic lighting back then, did we? Right?
No.
Like nowadays we'd be painted with a certain color that we would like tune up and down. But here we must have painted a whole nother 3D we had in this
Oh my
game.
God.
Was
yeah.
that the
And another
CES, Tim, where we
transparency.
had that guy on the motorcycle out in front of the booth,
I don't remember.
pretending to be Ben
Oh,
Throttle?
right.
I don't
didn't
remember.
go, but
Did we
yeah.
have a booth babe, dude? That
We
was
had a booth dude, and like all us ladies were swooning.
I just remember
Oh,
looking at the pictures thinking, that guy
He was a
looks
hunky Ben.
We all
nothing
wanted to go
like-
take a picture with him.
looks nothing
Did
like
I even
someone
get to
from
go to that
Full Throttle
CES?
World.
I don't know.
I don't remember seeing any of this. Tell me about it.
Well, it was just a little, booth in the back, but then there was the guy with the motorcycle right out front, and he was totally drawing people in.
Yeah, so where were we with 3D? Like 3D had already entered the world of games, right? But we were like, no, we love 2D stuff, but we have all these vehicles we have to make. quickly.
Dark
Yeah.
Forces was just before this, right? Or just it was
It was concurrent. With
It was
this, right?
concurrent.
It shipped around the same time.
shipped around the same time. That's right.
Because we technically shared a rap
And
party.
that was sort of knocking off Doom to some extent.
Yeah, because I remember getting, like I
Was
said,
Rebel already happening? Because we had a 3D department. There was like 3 guys.
Yeah.
I think
Like
that's
Rebel
all.
Assault.
I think that's why we had it. What them was for the Rebel Assault stuff.
Yeah, I think so. And then, we were talking about there's no way we can draw. Like we were looking at all the reference material from that anime film Akira, all the motorcycles. We're like, there is no way we can draw this stuff by hand. But then we were trying to figure out how do we get it to look 2D and just compressing the heck out of the palette and simplifying it.
This was a...
Yeah, because they probably didn't have the cartoon renderers back then, right?
No, we didn't have cell shading or anything.
No. So it's just...
I remember there was a big struggle was trying to get it to actually match.
Yeah, so we were just trying to limit the palette, and then we had the 3D Ben on the bike, and then we would draw over it.
This was one of the, I feel like this is like one of the first puzzles we designed for the game, and I have fond feelings about it. I don't know if everyone likes this puzzle; they might hate it. But we were like, this game is not going to have a lot of complicated inventory combining puzzles where you collect a whole bunch of stuff and then put it together in inventory. It's going to be mostly all on the screen. So like here you come up and there's a rope, there's a chain you can pull and it opens the gate, but then you can't keep it open when you run through it. And the trick is to do something counterintuitive. You have to lock the gate. And I was so happy with that because it was all just right on the screen. You didn't have one inventory item, which is the lock. But then again, some people like all puzzles, hate that puzzle. So, I like it. There's my car, my actual car.
Unfair.
So
That's the Timmobile?
Oh, yeah.
Do you still have that car?
It's in a garage in Reading because I was driving. I bought the car for my dad, which is his '69 Le Mans, which is it looks like a GTO. It's a really fun car to have. And then I go at lunch one day with a bunch of LucasArts coworkers in it. Someone before I started it, someone was like, "Do you smell gas?" And I was like, "No, you're silly." And I started it, and then boom.
That was me and Michelle Harrell.
Yeah, and you remember like black smoke came out of the defroster
and we
vents,
just died. It's
and
a
everybody was
convertible.
Like, yeah, we had John. I was like, "Get out of the car!"
Jump it out.
Jumped out, and I run to this jewelry store to use 911. And secretly, I've been wanting to call 911 all my life, right? Like you just be like, "Oh, someday I'm gonna." So I call it,
And they're like, "You're at the jewelry store. Is there robbery? What's going on?"
and I ran back to the car, and there was a pool of fire underneath the car, and there were already fire people there, like firefighters there, because I was across the street from the fire department. I could have just run. I could have run to the fire department to bring them over. And anyway, they put out the fire, and then it was really bad. There's bubbles embedded in the windshield from just the heat. Jeez. And you guys go back to the office. So you guys went back to the office while I hung around with the tow truck. And you told Peter Chan what had happened. And so Peter Chan happened to be painting this art. And so he's like, well, I guess Tim's car is toast. I'll put it in the junkyard. He painted my beautiful car in the junkyard.
That was when you actually had to run somewhere to make a phone call.
Yeah. Yep. Did you notice the tattoo foreshadowing on Maureen's She's got a little
got
bit of
the
a
vulture,
vulture's tattoo
yeah.
because it's like a big. Oh,
Yep.
spoilers! I won't say in case
Oops.
you're playing this game and you don't know. But there's some foreshadowing right there.
By the way, I had somebody contact me a couple months ago asking for the definitive version of the vulture's tattoo because she was going to get.
Oh my god!
And I was feeling terrible because
you have it?
she's going to ink it on her, and I'm like, I don't know. There's the pixelated version, but it's so messed up. And then there's a sketch that I have, but it's not the final one because I think trying to translate it to pixels and then shrinking it down, a lot of that didn't read. So I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I don't know what to tell her, which is the official one because it's kind of. I just sent her a bunch of stuff and said, take your best guess. I don't know.
I feel like we were watching, started watching a lot of Hong Kong movies at this point because there's a lot of that like reflection in the toaster that you
Right.
see the bad guys coming is taken right out of either Hong Kong movies or Hard Target, which was the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
All right.
We saw right when we were making this.
Hard Target.
Also
yeah.
easier to animate the villain really small in a
Yeah,
reflection.
and wiggly in a toaster.
I wonder how many people say they use Hard Target as their
Basically, this
Yeah.
this is Hard Target, the game.
I
And
think only 2 people were inspired by Hard Target, Von Damme and Tim.
camera. You can go inside.
Oh
Mumbly
my
Peg.
gosh,
Mumbly
Mumbly
Peg, oh, I
Peg.
remember programming Mumbly
News
Peg.
to me. Did you come up with that?
No,
Henning?
no, that was
News to
Anson.
me?
I love that.
Did we
Look at
call
the guy's
him-
hair.
Yeah.
Did we call them mini games? Didn't we?
Yeah.
It
Like
was
Whack-A-Rat and Salmon Max. I
It
mean,
was also an Easter egg because you don't, if you go up and talk to him, it doesn't happen. It was a weird compromise because like, should we have this bloody thing just be possible for everyone to do? Like, no, let's
Right.
cut it. Let's cut it. No, let's put it in. Let's put it in. Okay, it's in there, but you have to ask 10 times. By the way, if you're playing this, you should try and ask to play Mumbly Bag 10 times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I wonder if Aliens had already come out, obviously, for like 10 years
Yeah,
before this,
right.
so we were all, we all knew how to play it from then. But Emma's not very good at it. Look, he keeps stabbing himself.
Yeah.
And it's that piece of art. The piece of art for the Mumbly Peg screen had cuts and notches wherever you could click, including everywhere on the finger, like 3 different notches on every finger, and like 5 stab wounds on the hand. And so if you look at the raw art with all the scars enabled and stuff, it's the most disgusting. It looks like someone just like sat there and stabbed their hand over and over and over again. It's like, oh, it's so gross. I think you can get pretty far. I think you can sit there. You can only stab your hand like once, I think, and then
Maybe you lose.
it cuts away from it. In the remaster, we're going to use that for the options screen. So yeah.
So I remember
The hand deliver it.
when we were in the end of QA and Tim decided to go play pool one night in San Francisco. This was before cell phones.
uh-huh.
And something came up and I had to find Tim and bring him back. I think it was for the bunnies. And because there was a bug that had to be fixed and we had to ship this game. And so all I knew was that Tim had gone to play pool in San Francisco.
Well, I didn't have any work to do. What was
Right.
that?
You're
So
basically
I
thumbing through the
called,
yellow pages
I had
there.
the phone book and I called every pool hall in San Francisco looking for him.
This makes me sound like a totally different person
I
than I am.
But he wasn't
Like every
in any.
juke joint.
He wasn't in any of them. So then I'm like, okay. So the last pool hall, I said, okay. So maybe he's in a bar with a pool table. Can you tell me the name of a bar that has a pool table? And he did. And then I looked that up and I called that. And then when he wasn't there, I just kept doing that until finally.
Are you kidding me?
Finally, I found him in some bar with a pool table.
Oh my goodness.
And
It was a kilowatt.
when he picked up the bar phone, he was terrified because he was like, "How did you find me?"
Actually, I don't remember this. This is crazy. I can't believe you found me by calling random bars. It makes me sound way cooler than I am, too. I like this. But what could I have done? I wasn't programming.
I want to know how she described
Actually, I
you.
did program
Yeah.
for the bunnies.
It was something that you had to make a call on.
It was
something.
my actual bug.
Yeah, it was either your bug or you had to make a decision right then and there as to what we were going to do
Bunnies in
about
or
it.
out. Now this is the area where we were originally going to have the whole Ricky Myron section, right?
We were jumping over. You
Yeah,
have
jumping
a gorge. We do have that here with the gorge.
Oh,
You
yeah.
jump over.
No, but there was the stunt show and the whole Ricky Myron character stuff.
Ricky Myron, by the way, is a kid I went to. I was in 4th grade,
Oh, yeah?
and we're on the playground, and I had this rock, and for no reason at all, I want to see how high I could throw this rock in the air, and I threw it as high as I could, and it came down and it hit Ricky Myron in the head. And he was like, "Why'd you do that?" And I was like, "You know what? Someday I'm gonna make you a star. I'm gonna
put you in the game.
I'll make it up to you.
I'm gonna put you in the game, and then I'm gonna cut you out of the game.
Yep. You're gonna be referenced, but you're gonna be a great daredevil.
Lots of interesting backstory because it was the stuff we cut. Remember, because the game was getting so huge, and we're like, we'll never finish this. And I think there was that and one other section. We were looking for stuff to cut, and everything was too interconnected to everything else. And we're like, we can't cut anything except the Ricky Myron section. That's kind of its own piece.
Do you guys remember where we stole Ben's bike from?
Was it Akira?
It's basically the clown bike in Akira. Yeah. Oh, here comes the mine road.
Which is funny. All the art reference that we got from that film, I still never actually saw that.
We've still never seen Akira?
No.
This is
a pretty ambitious game. Like I feel like on every level we were just like.
Conversation.
We got in way over.
Well, now, does anyone remember?
Well, I mean, I think we were thinking about things like, for me, I was thinking about Road Warrior and Yojimbo, because Road Warrior, I just love the way it's just dramatic, gritty story being told, like
Yojimbo.
an opera almost, and then Yojimbo is just the stoic hero. You've seen Yojimbo with the Toshiro Mifune is like this really stoic main character who's not like a big tough guy who really shows off a lot, but he's really quiet until he goes and then he goes and kills 20 samurai, just really quickly. And Ben was really inspired by him. And then I got the screenplay for The Road Warrior somewhere. And in the first shot of it, Mad Max, like, he gets to a fork in the road, he doesn't know where to drive to, and he pulls over and he finds a wreck of a car and he takes a bumper off of it and he throws it in the air, and wherever the bumper lands, he drives off that way, which is exactly how Yojimbo starts, with him doing it with a stick. I was like, I knew it. I knew this is all one big part of this generalized lone hero thing going on.
We were looking at Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name stuff too. Everybody squints like Clint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easier to animate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Poyahoga was something we cut. There's a whole other town called Poyahoga, which you found out is going to be an Indian word for don't drink the water, it's poisonous.
All right.
And there was another gang there called the Water Skeeters. We have a lot of concert for them.
That was
and the Water
right.
Skeeters, and they had a set of wheels. They had these pontoons that would come out and they would float on the water and ride their motorcycles on the water.
That got cut pretty early though, but that would have been fun.
Oh, Tim, chainsaw.
What?
I threw a party at my house, which was up in the woods in the Casio.
Oh, yeah.
And it was in the middle of a forest.
And we couldn't get to it.
And it had a long driveway that went through the forest.
Right.
And we had a terrible storm, and it was pitch dark. And the first person to arrive at my party was Tim, driving alone. And he came up to a fallen tree across the driveway. And I emerge with a chainsaw running in my hand and go walking up to
and a mask made
Tim.
of human flesh.
And I go walking up to Tim, and you were genuinely scared. Because he had read about stuff like this.
Up in the woods of Nicosia.
That guy's got
I remember that party.
Yeah, it was
Star
fun.
Wars Rebel.
That was a
Was
good
that the
party.
tattoo on his?
There's a sound of you driving over a rough road.
Steve, I remember you were duly hard on me to get that sound right of the tire going over those reflectors in the center of the road. And it's true, it makes that sound. We all know that sound. It's like, it sort of sounds like puck, 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 puck. And I have to admit, I had a really hard time making that sound. Finally, one time I was just driving and holding my arm out the window of my truck with a microphone and running over those things. I don't know if I ended up using those, but it was a tough sound to make, to get it right.
Yeah, where is this place? It's just like a circle of bikers randomly driving.
Well, it's like Highway 9. Actually, I wonder if there's a highway called Highway 9 on the way down this like Santa Cruz. That bikers love. It's an actual like biker road where bikers go on a lot, and there's a lot of biker bars on the way and stuff. So that's real. That's right out of the pages of California history.
Is that 17 that you're talking
It's
about?
off of 17. Or it's the mountain road that you would take next to 92 and Highway 1.
I remember going into Tim's office at one point as the deadline was looming, saying, "Tim, you got to cut the Mine Road or the bunnies." He's like, "I'm not cutting either one."
Mine Road or the bunnies?
Yeah, I'm like, "You got to cut one, Tim. Something's got to go."
We had already cut so much on this game. I was like, we can't cut anymore. And the bunnies are crucial to the narrative. This is the last game I ever programmed on, I believe. I remember doing Ben crawling all over the semi and doing the bunny stuff, which is maybe why it was such a problem. This is an interesting a transition for me in learning about schedules and how terrible and hard they are. Because Day of the Tentacle, I feel like was the last game we did that was on time.
Yeah.
It was not a breeze, but it was like no crunch mode, followed the schedule. And part of that is because we had an extra 6 months at the end because of adding the voice we had.
Right.
But and this is the first game that went way over budget that I worked on. And and first time I had a producer, which is Casey. So she would come in, and I just remember you asked you
like a specter.
Yeah, she'd come in and be like, Tim, when is this going to be done? And I just remember that weird feeling. And I told this to you, like, I don't know how to express this, but I feel like you come in and ask me that question, and then I look over to the place where that information is, and I see this empty box with cobwebs in it. And then I come back out like, I don't know what to tell you.
And I think I just heard a couple of
When
shots.
is it that George came down and spoke to us all, and he said he had his 55% rule? There was a game that precipitated that.
I thought it was 40. If you get 45% of what you want, then you're...
No, 55.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was 55. No, it was just over half. He goes, if you got this great idea and you think it's going to be killer, and through the realities of relegating it with a team and all the collaboration, all the technical limitations, you get it to 55% of relegating your concept, the audience will get it. And it's time to let go and ship your products, folks. Like, come on.
Right.
This is a business after all.
I want to talk about Roy Conrad because we listened to a lot of audition tapes for this game. And everyone you tell them they're going to be a biker does this really, like tough. That was my tough guy voice. Like trying to be
like
super tough.
Tasmanian Devil.
And it always came through as trying to be tough. And I didn't like any of them. And then we heard Roy's voice. And it is really deep and tough sounding, but he's kind of gentle about it. And there's something about the fact that he's not trying to sound tough that just made us love it all right away. The second he started talking, we were like, yeah.
Such a great voice.
And he looked nothing like the character.
No, he looked like a dad, like a gentle,
kindly old
fatherly. Dad. Do you remember going to Skywalker Ranch to record a video that was for marketing purposes, which was the Gone Jackals playing? And I don't know what, this is for some B-roll that we recorded for marketing use, but they also took a picture of the band and they made a leather jacket that's Full Throttle on it. And we filmed them playing in the same soundstage that the London Symphony Orchestra did Star Wars music on. And I just remember they came in and they wanted to pose with their bikes on the soundstage. And so they rolled, there was like the night watchman who was like letting us into the building. We had permission to be in there, but he like saw the motorcycles getting wheeled in. He's like, are those okay to be indoors? And like, yeah. And he said, and he asked we had these actual biker guys who own the bikes wheel them in. And he's like, are they gonna leak on the woods, hardwood floor in here? And the biker guy was just like, she'll leave her mark.
Well, that's a good segue.
But it's no big deal.
Velvet Underground just wouldn't have worked for this.
Oh yeah, so originally we were trying to get music. We were thinking about getting licensed music, and we talked to some record companies, and they offered us for free the entire catalog of the Velvet Underground,
which was such cool music.
Which we loved. But I was like, I don't know if this fits the biker theme.
But you gotta put
and then also like the Clash was one of them offered to because they were shipping a box set of these things.
Yeah, I think the Clash was. But
and then what we wanted was we wanted Soundgarden. Right. I wanted Soundgarden because they had a song called Kickstand.
Right.
And it's set in the Kickstand, and that song Kickstand was so perfect for it. So, should I tell it? Sorry. We went down to LA.
Yes.
Me and Jackson Wilson went down to LA to go to A&M Records to try and get them to give us. And we hadn't done any licensed music really at all, except for Star Wars music. And we showed the game to them. We showed them the CS demo with the gas siphoning and stuff. And it was these young executives. They were like, "This is really cool. We really like it." And then the big guy showed up, and I think he was like either A or M.
I recall the story being Mr. M.
Mr. M came in, and he sat down, and the younger guy was like, "Okay, Tim, why don't you tell him all about the game?" And Mr. M was like, "No, I want to hear from you. Tell me why you thought this was a good idea." And so he was putting his own guy on the ringer, like, "Why'd you bring me in this meeting?" And we talked about it, and actually they were kind of into it until when Jack was talking, they realized that we weren't going to pay them any money. We just wanted to get the song. We were trying to explain that it was going to be
exposure for
them. Yeah.
It was George.
George Lucas in the lab.
Oh, God, that's right.
It's just a lookalike.
That's awesome.
No, that's not George. It's
somebody in the George costume.
I love the hair.
See, they're all in disguise. Marine's got a wig on.
There was a local radio DJ named Alex Bennett who was a big
right.
fan of Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah.
And he was a fan of ours. We got him to do the voice of the stadium announcer.
That's right.
That's Alex Bennett. He was like the Howard Stern before Howard Stern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As I think you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we get him to do some sort of PR thing on his show?
I got to go on the show and promote.
Oh, right.
Wasn't he at the rap
He was at
party?
the rap
He was at the rap party too,
Yeah.
yeah. He was an institution in San Francisco radio.
Yes,
for
he
us.
was.
KMEL and all these different stations.
Live 105,
Live
yeah.
105, yeah. He was a big deal, and he got his voice in the game. Okay, I have to talk about this puzzle because it's causing me a lot of grief. This is the second puzzle everyone gets stuck on, and they hate
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
it's
get
a
really
tough
angry.
one.
So the puzzle is supposed to be that you have to line up your knees, your eyes with a crack on the wall, and the puzzle is supposed to be that Maureen wasn't a grown-up woman at that time. She was only a 4-year-old girl, so the crack should be much lower, and if you go there and kick it, it works. But we're worried people would just brute force it and kick everything, so we made it so you couldn't kick it unless all these gauges were all lined up, which is a little contrived. And so, but that's where I learned the rule of adventure games. If it's possible at all to brute force something, they will do it. They'll be like, well, I guess I just got to kick every pixel on this wall. And so people would kick every pixel and be like, why did you make that stupid puzzle where you have to kick every pixel? And I'm like, it was supposed to be this other thing.
You're supposed to figure it out.
You're supposed to think the way I thought about it. And so that was a big learning experience for me.
Where'd you get the idea of him having a New England accent? It's really cool. You know,
It's a Pepperidge Farms guy,
a Pepperidge
right?
Farms.
I don't
here with these bikers.
In this, the voice for this game, I was more removed from it than I would be on future games. I got really involved in the casting.
okay.
So I was involved in the casting of Ben and stuff, but Tamlin, Neelio, and Chris Brown did a lot of it on their own, and they went and recorded definitely without me. And so I don't remember. And Tamlin's thing was we got to differentiate all these characters.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the crazy accents come from. Is like we got to make them stand out from each other.
It worked. They're great.
So at the time, this is the worst thing we could think of to happen, which was that a motorcycle company would start making minivans. Because minivans, I feel like minivans, they're pretty new in the 90s, right?
That's true.
That's when they emerged. They were the epitome of just selling out and living a suburban life.
Yeah, I've got one.
I would love to have one right now. Let me tell you.
Yep.
But that was like the worst vehicle we could think of.
They were really ugly initially, too.
And nowadays it would be like, I don't know, SUV? No, I don't know. It would be something that would imply that a motorcycle company had sold out completely.
An RV.
Because we were like, how do you make it? You know, motorcycles, they live with a high-risk situation. How do you really threaten? How do you make something really scary? Like their way of life is going to end, and it's that their favorite motorcycle brand would start making this symbol of normal life.
Domesticity.
Suburban
exactly.
bliss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maureen is the Kath Soucie does the voice. She does a lot of cartoons. You look at the credits.
Yeah.
Almost any cartoon you're watching, Kath Soucie
Yes.
will show up. She does a great job with Maureen's voice, and she came back later on Brutal Legend and did Lita Halford. I feel like I remember programming this part too, because this is all like a reference to Dr. Strangelove. The code that you enter is I think preserve our essence.
Yeah,
which is
or
a big
Peter.
Peace on earth, purity of essence.
Yeah,
purity of essence, right? Or peace on earth, something like that.
Mandrake, you ever been a prisoner of war?
Yeah. Why, yes, sir.
Yes, Jack. As a matter of fact, I have.
Again,
so this is a big question for the remaster because the aspect ratio is wider. And one of the puzzles here is as you run out of this, you don't see Ben's bike lurking in the corner. So you try to run for it and then you blow up. But it was a puzzle to you have to walk to the left to pan over to see the Ben's bike. But now I think it's just going to show.
Oh.
And I think the explosion looks like a giant croissant chasing you out of the plane. Watch this. Look for the croissant.
Must have been breakfast.
Here
when we
comes.
animated that.
And croissant.
Yeah.
Delicious.
It does look like a
That's my favorite.
croissant.
Okay, there's a favorite.
That's the best shot.
Daryl didn't get enough screen time.
No.
He's one of those guys that was there but didn't really do much.
Yeah.
The sequel, we should make it all about him. Confirmed.
He could be the new Ben from Ben Throttle.
Joe, you remember the scum debug key?
The scum debug key. No. What was the scum debug key?
Wasn't it Control D or something? Matilda?
Oh, after Matilda?
You typed in like Control D Matilda on the keyboard, and they would turn on all the scum jump codes and all the.
Oh. I wonder if that shipped in the game.
It did.
It did?
Yeah.
Don't try that. Don't try that at home, kids. Control D, tilt, no what?
It's like Control D, and then you type in Matilda.
Don't do it. Maureen got her name. Originally, the story had two twins that were the twin daughters of Malcolm Corley, and they're named Maureen and Tina after these two girls who lived in the dorm with me in college. And then we cut Tina. So, sorry, Tina. Celebrity picture.
Haitian political analysis?
That was our custodian. They're like we'd be working late in crunch mode, and the janitor would come by to clean up, and we'd end up talking to him for a long time. His name was Paul. Do you remember Paul? And he had this crazy vacuum cleaner that he wore like a backpack, and he would go down all, and we would have these long talks with him about Haiti and stuff, because I was like, I think we'd seen Serpent in the Rainbow or something. We were like, tell us about the Tonton Macoux. And he would tell us all about the real Haitian politics and stuff, and everyone got in the credits back then. I think this is, I don't know, oh my God, I can't believe I got away with any of that. Like, someone complained about not being in credits, so I put him in as one. Oh, what a jerk. Now I totally remember why people hated me. Some left the room.
Oh, they're all our kitty
Who
cats.
are all these cats? This is what bothered me.
I've got 3 cats in there.
How come I didn't get my cat?
Yeah, I stand by the statement.
Hey, isn't Gigi? Mine are Indian dogs. Who is Monkey?
Yeah. Monkey. I forget now.
So, Keith of the Gone Jackals recommended a guy he knew who had a Harley with straight pipes, a big old chopper. And every single cylinder stroke sounded literally like a cannon going off. I mean, literally. And that's Ben's bike. And we did a bunch of pass-bys and starts and all the things that you would do. But the best recording that came out was strapping a Walkman Pro with a cassette. It was a cassette recorder, which was actually really good that it wasn't digital, you know, that it was recording on a magnetic tape, because it's such a loud sound pressure. And we strapped it on the back of his bike with a gooseneck going to an SM57, which for audio people who may not know, is often used on a snare drum. It can take a lot of sound pressure level, these mics. They just, you could mic, you know, a cannon.
It was invented for the military.
Oh, really, was it?
That's what Camden said the other day.
Wow, okay.
He's probably right.
So I just strapped it on the back of his bike and he just rode around. And that ended up being the cleanest recordings, the best recordings. We got accelerates, we got steadies, we got all kinds of stuff from that. And much of it was cut in without any processing or pitch shift or anything like that. It was just the sound of that wonderful Harley. So the driver of that almost dumped it though because it started raining. So we had to store it in the LucasArts lobby.
Right.
And
That's it. So
I remember we didn't want to talk about, at one point the schedule had slipped, but I didn't want to talk about how much because I was too scared to think about it. And you're like, do you want to know what the budget is? I was like, no. And I was like, what is it? No, what is it? It was like, it's $1 million. And it was and we had like gone from Monkey Island, which was, I think it was $200,000, and just had never conceived of money like that before. And like this game's, it's the first one, it's like, it's $1 million.
You could only whisper the
Yeah, you whisper.
I remember breaking that mark and everybody talking about like, holy crap.
$1 million
I do.
game.
I remember spending countless hours just staring at the budget, where I'd like have to put in the actuals for the month, and then based off of that, project how the rest was going to change, and add more months
Absolutely.
and more dollars. And I do remember one time, like right as we were about to ship, I was testing it at home, like all night long trying to crash it. And I like started to doze off, and my cat walked across the keyboard
I remember that.
and crashed the game.
Oh, that's right, the cat crash bug.
Cat bug.
And we could never, your cat would not
Could
reproduce
not
it for us.
reproduce that bug.
And they were like, "Well, we've got to fix it." And it's like,
Bring the cat in. Bring the cat in.
Bro, I can't.
Did you think that cat in
Everybody
the credits?
get a
What was
cat.
the name of
We
that
started
cat?
bringing cats into the pit.
Did you thank it in the credits? What cat was that?
It was Eartha, and she was thanked.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys for coming and doing commentary. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share? How'd you like working on that game?
A lot better than I remembered.
Wait, the game was better than you remembered?
Working on it was better than you
No,
remembered.
it looks good. It looks pretty good. I'd play that.
It was really fun. Fun project.
I remembered late on that there was one Easter egg that apparently Clint and Mark Crowley put in.
Oh.
That one night I heard when they were getting punchy.
What
Easter egg was that? I don't remember.
The safe.
The
When
safe.
you punch in your code in the safe, if you enter Mark Crowley's birthday, then...
Oh. Can it be said?
Do you remember that?
I don't even remember that. This goes to show
Is
you.
that ship in the game?
It's like Kublai
Yes,
Khan.
Oh, man.
Because it was the whole thing where we were like saying that we had to know about like every single Easter egg, just let us know so we knew it was there. And I guess they got punchy and decided to put it in.
There must have been some sort of vocal gratification.
Says it's still
But all these years later, we're grateful. We're grateful that made
You
it
know
in.
Mark Crowley and his birthday, you can find it.
It took us only 2 hours of playthrough to get to the farts. That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's all for all the commentaries. I want to thank you all again for watching this video. Like I said again, this is a hallmark of my video game or a gamer life, right? My gamer life. So remember, like I told you, this Wednesday we're gonna have the Witcher Wednesday. I'm in the middle of the Witcher 1. This next Friday we're gonna continue Final Fantasy Fridays, Final Fantasy 1. It's probable that I finish it this Friday. If not, it's definitely gonna be the next one. So we're almost finishing that game. So again, thank you for watching C+ Gaming. My name is Frank, and see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
The population is greatly decreased, and now the odds are greatly increased that I may someday get a chance to kiss your lips. I thank the Lord each day for the apocalypse. Folks are mostly disfigured or dead, but sugar, I won't let it go to my head. My mama's face has dripped down into the dirt, but I'm still chasing Chitlin's whiskey and skirt.